everyone. We are finally back again. long, very, very long hiatus this time. But, it's because Ellie had to go exorcise some demons from his island, his pagan rituals. Mm. Yeah, Ellie is truly, truly embracing capitalism now. Is not only is he a homeowner, but he is now becoming a based business owner in charge of his own labor, mind you, in charge of his own labor. Nah, you are using your labor to create goods and services and selling those goods and services. You have indeed. Mm. Mm. Oh no! Oh no! What? Ooh! Ooh! Oh no! Oh no! I'm schizophrenic again. Thanks, magician. Yeah, thanks, magician. There's always something. There's always got to be. There's always got to be something. Ellie's working on it. He's working on it right
Yeah.
now. Yeah, he's
Goddamn default settings.
the schizophrenic voice in my head is working on.
Alright, I had an
Alright, are
impassioned
we back? Are we
speech.
back? We
Yeah,
good? Are we good?
it's working. Right, magician? Tell me
We'll see in a
anything.
minute. He'll tell you in a minute. But yeah, no,
Uh,
it's
sad.
you didn't miss much. All Ellie was talking about was his 3D printing adventures. Yep, Ellie's good.
Yeah, I excised the evil
Uh,
spirits from the land.
yeah,
And
he excised the evil spirit from his computer. Yeah,
under
one of
my
them followed him
computer,
home.
I have a personality now at work, and that is the 3D printer. And now
Yeah,
people come up say to me from, "Oh, hey, Ellie, you have nice 3D. I see you have a nice 3D model you have there, painted and all. Can I buy it? Oh, can I so get more? Can I? I have a things I want to have. Can you print that for me? And oh, my son is getting married and likes Pokemon. Can you make the Pokemon model like And
yeah.
the girl that he's marrying also likes Pokemon. Could you do that for the wedding? And suddenly, I have I have business. I've seized the means of my own production and have a side hustle and all that stuff on that on that 3D printing grind set.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah. It's like I was memeing earlier before the show that he's gonna be one of those guys who gets like 5 3D printers and starts like a production line so he can do his
I
his,
will be
his, his, his
resisting that
big.
because it's just I like to have like my basement, my storage basement, uh, for fun, not to have like
Mm,
a whole production farm production process going on.
mm,
Uh, to myself, and now to you, Naritsu, I've been calling it an atelier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because let's see, if I spend like every day 3 hours painting something there, it's an atelier to me. It's not just the basement. It's setup. It's brushes,
It's the
rows of.
hobby cave. Yeah,
It's a
it's the
row of
cave.
paints, different brushes, different knives, different tools, different tweezers, and all that stuff. It's not a just a simple. Yeah. I believe Nerdzu. It's my conviction that it's no
Mm,
longer just basement. It's slightly more. It's slightly more than just general basement, worthy of the name.
mm,
But yeah, that's my
mm.
grand adventures: side hustling,
Yeah,
3D printing,
I'm just
and
doing nothing. I'm just doing nothing outside of having fun. Just on Twitter arguing with feminists like it's 2014 all over again. And yeah, the Twitter dramas. It's funny because it's like pretty quiet for like most of the time, and then like in the last 2 days, it's like, oh shit,
oh,
we have to
sorry,
we
Kaga.
have to.
No, you actually missed nothing because my mic was muted the first time I was telling it. So you actually caused the
Yeah.
first actual broadcasted story. So don't worry. No, I haven't been. Yeah, I am selling. Because my the coworkers have seen the things that I can do. Now they want the things I can do, and now I have a side hustle going on. Oops, that wasn't really
Yeah,
my intention, but I now I have it.
yeah, yeah. But the only major we were talking about it before, like the current like big Twitter. Well, there's a couple, right? Like there's the Lords of the Fallen one, which I don't know if you heard
No.
about. So basically, Lords of the Fallen is that Souls clone game,
Yeah, I know
right?
of it.
They had a pretty cool like trailer during the things that we watched, I believe, that was like really metal, pretty sick. They were like, "Hey, we're collaborating with this artist guy, and here is like some armor for the game or whatever." And it's like the most generic, sexy video game boob armor, hot stuff that you like. If you imagine what would be like
Yeah, yeah,
generic, I made the armor in Skyrim look sexy,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Type stuff, right? And I look at it right when it happens, right before fucking the drama's kicking. Right, I look at it and I'm like, I mean, it's all right. It's fine. It's not like amazing or anything. It's all right. It's just like generic fantasy sexy armor, right? But man, for some reason, the fucking like progs on Twitter got really fucking mad about the existence of this armor because not long after they announce it, you've got shitloads of them like, oh, this is disgusting. Oh, this is misogyny. Oh, this is bad. You've got fucking IGN writing an article about how boring the armor is. You've got fucking other like journalists chiming in and trying to make like a story out of it, and I'm just it's like, why are we making a story out of a nothing burger? Why is the existence of this armor? And the part that gets me, Ellie, and this is where I like really start to lose my shit, is they then like a few hours later were like, hey, here, like we're gonna have like 200, it was like 100 or 200 something armor sets in the game, and those like sexy armors are like just 5 out of like 100.
Yeah.
And the rest of the 100 is like Dark Souls armor, right? So these guys are getting like ass mad over, I don't know, like your numbers, man. What's like five out of 100 in a percentage? Like fucking fuck all, right? Fuck all armor in this game is sexualized, and they have a meltdown, dude. And it's like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Naretsu, I know you don't like it, but ever since I've been 3 hours every day in in the cave
Yeah,
in
you
the
you
hobby area.
you're even
I
more
am
isolated.
even less of an
more.
idea. I am less of what's going on
Well,
Twitter or
good. I
Discord
can
or
bring
anywhere.
it to you, and you can respond in real time. It's great. So that happens. The other thing that happened was Snowbreak came back, but there's some weird shit going on with that though. So for the context of that, Snowbreak got taken down for like the last like 2 or 3 months because Chinese feminists got mad at the fact they collaborated with the post office. It's silly, right? Just fucking feminists being feminists, right? You know how it is. But they come back and the game's censored, and people are like, oh shit, it's Jova, right? It's all Jova. But turns out the uncensored like files, assets, still exist in the game. It's in the files, but the game's not accessing them for some reason. It's like a hard coded block
Mhm.
going on. So people are like, oh, is this like a new uncensored, like censored to uncensored like patch thing going on? Like, what's the deal here? What do we do? People are like modding the game to bring the assets back, but the allegedly it could be a glitch with the game. Like, so there's some weird shit going on there. I don't play Snowbreak, so I'm not super in tune with
Well,
it. I just
Snowbreak
see
was
it
like
on.
the Fire Emblem-ish, or was it like an
No,
RTS?
it's like a shooter game. Yeah, it's like a shooter game
Oh, okay.
with like the sexy girls in it and the sexy waifus that you can interact with, right, in 3D. And I mean, it was good. It looked good. Don't get me wrong. I never played it, but it looked good. So I hope they, yeah, everyone's yeah, Good is like on. He knows what I'm talking about. Everyone's in like wait 2 weeks mode because they're trying to figure out what's actually going on. Because it'd be kind of interesting if the devs were like put like an ARG in the fucking to try
Nah.
and uncensor it. Um, but it's weird because all of these like things kind of like start to compact, right? I'm making a narrative, Alex. I'm building up to talking about mixtape, right? Because all of these like little micro events like start building up. Where you've got the Lords of the Fallen shit where they're freaking out about sexual shit, and then you've got Snowbreak, people being mad about the fact the feminists went after Snowbreak, right? There was the other thing I won't get too deep into, but there was some feminist that made a post that went viral that was like fucking got fucking annihilated from orbit, and I argued with that feminist for like the whole day yesterday. It was very funny. But that again is just another thing. Mixtape comes out, which is that game that I remember. Like, if you guys even went back to like the Summer Game Awards or whatever, like when the trailer was there, I called it. I fucking called it. I was like, this is going to be the most vapid, like soulless, artsy, not like we have another one of these 90s 80s nostalgia
Mm-hmm.
Stranger Things cloned games. And boy, did Mixtape not disappoint. Did it not disappoint in being one of those games? Because from what I can tell, most of it is generic, what I would describe as like art house. I'm not good enough to direct a movie, so I'm going to make a video game type shit, right? Um, and that's bad enough as it is, but most that would be forgettable, right? Like it's like, okay, bad video game came out, it's another Concord or Dustborn or whatever, right? Like, who cares? The part that's kind of blowing up is it has like this kissing mini game where it's like two tongues slapping against each other, and and you've got like the teeth and the braces and stuff, and people are kind of getting a bit moralizy about it because it's like, oh, it's minors, Ellie. It's the minors, the
Oh
minors kissing. It's
gosh.
so, and yeah, I don't give a fuck about that either. But I do see the hypocrisy, right? Because oh, you can't. Lords of the Fallen having adult women in sexy armors, that's gross and bad and boring and bad. And oh no, we have to make IGN articles about that, right? But then this comes out and it's like, oh, this is so empowering and it's so, oh, it's so deep. 10 out of 10. IGN 10 out of 10. Let's get 10 out of 10 from all the video game journalists, Sally. Every one of them is giving it 10 out of 10.
Is
It's
it
like the
actually
highest.
giving like 10 out of 10?
Yes, they are actually giving it 10 out of
Stay
I could probably bring it up on OpenCritic. I could have a look, 'cause it'll probably be on there. Yeah, it's got like 93% on OpenCritic. IGN 10 out of 10, The Gamer 4 out of 5, GameSpot 9 out of 10, Nintendo Life 9 out of 10.
Metacritic has it at 85.
Here, I'll link you what I'm saying. I use OpenCritic because they tend to be a little bit better. Put it in the text chat. So yeah, it's getting fucking glazed, right? Maybe a good time for a segue. It's getting glazed completely by like it's higher than Pokemon. It's beating your Pokemon, Ellie.
No,
it's beating
the Pokemon game that I played and liked.
Pokemon is only 90, and this is 93. So according to game journalists, right, the tongue-kissing minigame game, which is 90% like 23 FPS video game character running across the screen, right? Apparently, that is better than the Pokemon that came out. I'm reading some of the excerpts that are on OpenCritic too. IGN, the musical delight from start to finish. Mixtape sets a new standard for coming of age stories in video games and does so with a masterful sense of style. The Gamer says, despite the limited gameplay and slightly repetitive nature of wandering around rooms to click on objects, Mixtape is an experience I'll remember for a long time.
I cannot. There was a time that I cared about review scores and what people thought of.
Oh no, I just think it's funny.
And now
I
don't.
It's funny.
Oh sure, you resonated with a game, and a bunch of people are resonating with a game. Same as like for Life is Strange. People like Life is Strange and all the dramas and all that stuff. And
people like to shit on Life is Strange. I think Life is Strange kind of managed to transcend into that it's so bad it's good category, where like it's cringe, but it's endearing in a sense. That's what I've seen as the vibe, right? Like I've seen people that are even like chuds be like, "Yeah, Life is Strange is great," because I could sit in a Discord chat with the bros and make fun. Right, this doesn't look like it's gonna have that same appeal.
I don't know, but we talked enough about it.
But I'm more reading the reviews and or not reading the reviews, but the excerpts and like using the reviews to kind of be like, why is this getting glazed? Like, why is this the thing to get glazed and not Furin? Right, Furin needs to be getting glazed, right, Ellie? That's the thing that we should all be talking about, right? But you know, that's what we need to glaze the glazy, transition time, Elliot. I'm nudging you. I'm giving you wink, 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 nudge, nudge, nudge. So we're talking about this guy again. Which kind of falls in line. Kind of falls in line with.
But actually, Furin is good, so we agree.
Yeah, actually, Furin is good. Yeah, so this is the guy that likes to talk really, really, really fancy, but doesn't actually say anything.
And also glazes one anime for a whole season or two, and then moves on to the next one.
Yeah.
Because this we covered like the last one that was also like about free one. Like maybe this is maybe the third one or the second.
With the last, didn't we cover his like Altair one?
No, there was
last
this that Fantasies making a comeback or has changed
yeah,
changed
that-
anime forever or something like that, right? The new
Yeah.
era of fantasy anime. As if there's something inherently different about fantasy, and rather than the stories that are being told that are more interesting. Anyway,
Mm.
but he's a big glazer channel. Like I said, he latches on
Yeah.
to good it anime is good, and then he'll find 5 different say things. Oh, the anime where the animation is good has good animation. Oh, the animation that has
Yeah.
pretty background has pretty backgrounds.
I think I can't remember. Was he the one? Because it's been like 3 weeks, right?
At minimum.
But was he the guy where we were talking about how he was like cooking water? Like he's not cooking.
Maybe.
He's boiling water. I think he was the guy because that was the one where he was glazing Altair, I think, or something. Like I vaguely recall, like we made like a point that he doesn't actually say anything. He's just cooking water. Like he's not cooking at all. He's just like putting water on the stove and letting it boil away into nothingness, into pure vapid nothingness. But we'll see. It could be fun. It could be a fun time. So I'm just gonna come over here and quiet hiss this time. Not a big one. Nice little mini hiss. I'll glaze the monster energy drink I'm drinking. The Lando Norris flavored. The Lando Norris one's actually alright. It's not bad. But anyway, let's get into it.
Beyond Journey's End is a story filled to the brim with metaphor, symbolism, and themes. Some of them are overt, like a slap across the face, while others are a byproduct of layers of evidence and interpretation. What I love about Frieren is that they give you such a large range. And today I want to argue why I think that creates a foundation for improving one's narrative media literacy.
So we're already like 22 seconds in, and he's already cooking the water. he's already cooking our new catchphrase, cooking water, because he's just saying words, Elliot. Right? He's just like I don't want to go back, but I can go back because he like puts the words up on the screen because that's his like editing thing, right? Like.
Frieren Beyond Journey's End is a story filled to the brim with metaphor, symbolism,
themes. Metaphor, symbolism, themes. Yeah, no shit. It's a fucking show, dude. All fucking shows have symbolism. What are you talking about?
Some of them are overt, like a slap across the face, while others are a byproduct of layers of evidence and interpretation.
Layers of evidence and interpretation.
Hey, Retsu, how about that needy girl overdose?
Yeah, oh yeah, we'll talk about that. So many layers of interpretation and meaning and date rape and crash outs, Ellie. The crash outs are real.
Such a large range. And today I want to argue why I think that creates a foundation for improving one's narrative media literacy. Asking the question, how can you get more out of stories? Finding beautifully structured meaning in things like butterflies or color theory, or maybe even
Retsu, did you catch that?
Shit.
Did you catch the pedestals or the colors of the characters that have joined in?
Oh my god. I'm gonna die, Ellie. This is gonna kill me. Holy shit! I hate this type of shit, dude. It's so fucking bad. Like, yeah, no shit. Like, no shit. Color theory is important. Like, no shit. No shit. All of this, like, what gets me is like, yeah, he's not necessarily wrong. He's just coming about this like a fucking pet. Like, what's a good word for this, right? He's coming about as like a pretentious prick a little bit because it's like, yeah, these are things that we talk about when we talk about like anime and art and stuff, right? But he's just sliming all of this shit together so far. Maybe I'm being a bit too harsh. Maybe I need to calm down because it's like 30 seconds. Maybe we need to.
Yeah.
Maybe let's let him cook. Maybe he's cooking pasta and not just water.
Some blank pages in a journal. Welcome to season 2 of Exploring Frieren. My name is Pei, and today we're talking.
Wait a second. Season 2? What the fuck? What happened to season 1? Not season 2 of Frieren, Ellie. Season 2 of his series, Glazing Frieren. He's on a whole new
Specifically season 2.
Yeah, I think it is Goda. I think it is the same guy. Yeah, Ali, we're double dipping apparently because Ali is like, no, we have to cover this guy. I wanted to cover Mother's Basement, and Ali saved
but
you
that was
guys
like
from that.
I didn't even check, but it's like minimum half an hour. That's annoying.
It's like a 40-minute video, but I think it would be funny. Maybe we'll do it next week because I think it'll be funny because it's like
I do have to say,
Mother's Basement talking about anime parasites.
I thought we had another person the last time. I mean, high cultured goon maxing. That would be another person. That wouldn't be.
That could. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens because you never know. Something might come out and looks like too. I need to go back on the channel and like check the Rex again. Done that in a while.
About the different levels of understanding.
Oh man, look at my Sony Vegas. I watched a class on Sony Vegas. I could do editing, Ellie. Big editing.
Understanding a story.
Oh wait.
Today I'm using the term.
Gooner culture is killing media literacy, and now we're relearning media literacy.
Oh yeah,
that was the one, right? I think
my
I'm pretty sure this
gooning has destroyed my ability to like look at fucking anime or whatever.
Now I'm doing a little bit of background how do you call it again? Administration, whatever. Anyway,
yeah, it's putting videos we covered into the
in the proper lists. But now you can see the last time we did Gooner culture is killing media literacy.
What's that Abby girl doing lately? What she brought up, she posted. She's done the one where she's talking about, fans are ruining fandoms, an hour-long video.
All right.
There you go, Ellie. We can do that next week. We can cover an hour-long video about fans ruining fandoms. There you go.
Yeah. All right.
Man. I'll put it in the list.
Yeah, go ahead. Doubtful that
we'll never cover it because it's an hour long.
Probably
the only other stuff she's done is like the internet has ruined and solved sisterhood, trinkets, and micro trends, Japan's misunderstood fashion style, staying overnight in Kamurocho's net cafe. All right, yeah. But we got people we're keeping an eye on for videos. Oh yeah. I was saying that before, Magic. That that was what I was suggesting we do this week. But Ali was like, "No, we'll cover Waterman. we'll cover Glaze Man." But maybe like I said, maybe we'll do Mother's Basement next week. We'll see how we go. We can always times to it, so it's like 20 minutes instead of 40.
Media literacy to specifically refer to narrative interpretation and analysis, the ability to understand a story, what it's implying, and then infer things from that, all built around evidence. Evidence refers to direct and
Holy shit. Yeah. Look, I appreciate definitions, but I don't know we need to go this deep. I should also probably state my kind of stance on a lot, because I've mentioned in past coverage of videos that I think a big problem that a lot of these artsy-fartsy people have, not necessarily this guy in this context, but in the past, right, is they seem to assume that a lot of the quote-unquote normies, right, don't understand things. Like they watch stuff and they don't like actually like interpret and understand what's on screen, right? Which I think is a misassumption. I
Yeah, just because.
think most people who sit on the couch and they bring up their like episode of like an anime like after work, right? Like they get home from work, they bring up their like episode of, I don't know, Needy Streamer Overdose or some shit, right? Or whatever show they want to watch. And they do actually understand the symbolisms and the big things and the stuff and all of that kind of nonsense, right? They do kind of get what's going on. But they might not have like the capacity to put that into words, right? They don't have the words for it, right? They don't have the ability to kind of explain the vibe.
Explain.
Yeah, and that's fine, and that's fine. Like that's not like an insult. That's like just I think that's more normal than people who make like these kind of like 14-minute videos where they have to like define what the fuck they mean by evidence, right? In the context of like an anime analysis, right? Like most people are not like big anime analysis people. They just want to watch the show and have fun being immersed in the story, right? Like they're not necessarily thinking really hard about, oh, the colors of the pillars match the colors of the guys and the theory of the thing. It's like yeah, but they see that, but they're not like actively like constantly looking for it and processing it, even if they do actually understand. I don't know if I'm making any sense. Am I yapping?
No. I mean, I agree that just because somebody doesn't mention it doesn't mean they didn't notice, that they are aware of it, or that they understand it but don't, actively need. And that's I can see from, oh, that person stands in the shadow. That means that he's suspicious. I can have that opinion. I can have that, idea, thought, whatever, without actually articulating it, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm getting at. Yeah.
You don't have to be.
You're not gonna go. You're not gonna go. I mean, you're not gonna go on Twitter because you're not on Twitter. But you're not gonna go on Twitter and make like a big fucking thread about, oh, I watched this show and I saw I have all of these different interpretations of the things and the stuff that does things. You don't feel the need to like do that, right? Because you don't need to feel like you're smart. You know what I mean?
And I might could talk later about the Reiwa era romance shows stuff again, because I do feel that vibe of the Reiwa era romance shows having a different, say, starting point of goal, a different view of what is relationships, different way of portraying them than previous ones. It's older now, but the Clannad romance stuff, the comedy romance stuff in Clannad, it's drama unrelated, and the romantic comedy stuff now do have a different vibe, and I can, already calling it Reiwa era show romance stuff is good enough for me. But I don't need to point it out for every show. I can just think it myself and say, hey, that
hey, I understand this.
Yeah.
I hate to like completely like derail the entire stream for another 50 minutes, but because I just tabbed over to Twitter to check on something and I saw a breaking final local election results for the UK.
We're not going to go that off topic.
I don't want to. I just want to say, man, Labour's not looking too good. Labour's like, I don't feel too good. Oof. Oof, boys. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. That's I don't think I've seen a fucking gutting that bad in a long time. But anyway, back to Vapid Man.
Disputable components of a story. Frieren is an elf, lived a long time. She can use magic. When you take pieces of evidence and infer something based off of them, the further away you get, the more there's room for people to disagree. Frieren states in the story that she wants to engage more after the loss of Himmel. I can take that piece of evidence and tie it with others, that the 2 first times she cried in the story were at the loss of Himmel and Hyder. The story seems to be implying that Frieren is going through an existential challenge. This is an obvious, easy to agree on example of interpreting evidence. The beginning of this video
Well, maybe it's just like, yeah, that's the story, my man. That's that's it's so vapid. It's so fucking vapid, Ellie. He's being so fucking vapid.
Hey, you know, Naretsu, every time when Fern is happy, she does the thing where she has her arms stretched down along her sides, her hands like flat and horizontal.
You see, this is
and
a
then
big
going
indicator
with her
of
shoulders
things.
side to side and her walking. That's so when you see that, that's happy Fern. You see,
Yeah,
that's a thing.
and when she's mad, her face, she does the puffy face thing, and that, and the times that she does that is when Frieren is oversleeping, or when Stark is being a dum dum, and that is very deep analysis of fucking. Oh my.
is mostly going to be dedicated to creating a simple foundation. If you find it a little bit
Look, she had. Oh, you missed it, but like she's got like the square eye thing going on, Ellie. That's that, and that is she's so happy, and I am a big analytical man because I can recognize the emotion. I feel like I'm being too mean. I don't know. I don't know. Like, it's just this stuff really triggers me for some reason. I don't know why.
too mundane, you can skip ahead to this section where things start to get more complicated. But essentially the shorthand is media literacy is the ability to interpret a story based off of evidence, implication, and other interpretations. Arguments based off of logical steps from clear evidence. So what's an example of this? There are certain symbols repeatedly used in Frieren. 3 of the most prominent examples I can think of are butterflies, jewelry, and flowers. There is evidence in Frieren that when butterflies are used, they're often paired with Fern as a character. The magic butterfly spell Hyder taught her, her butterfly hair ornament, the many scenes where butterflies are on screen with her, which means I can argue that Frieren is implying significance between butterflies and Fern, creating a connection. Here, let's look at another prominent use of symbolism. There's tons of evidence in the story that implies a tie between jewelry and relationships. Frieren's similar earrings to Flamma, the ring she received from Himmel, or, once again, the butterfly hair ornament. So now, by mixing 2 different symbols, we get a new result. Fern is no longer just associated with butterflies, she consistently adorns one. So now this is another ingredient that can be tied into further interpretation. For example,
what? Damn. All right. yes, sure. Fern thing symbolizes
character motifs are a thing, Ellie. Didn't you know?
But jewelry, I'm going to argue, sincerely with the jewelry thing, right? Because the jewelry itself, in the sense of the hairpiece, does not serve the same function as the bracelet and the ring, because the bracelet and the ring are not exactly romantic gifts, but they're gifts nonetheless in the sense of a relationship part. Both were gifts where one party didn't really realize what it was, but it's still significant in that it's but that feeling is still cast along if you don't, even though you don't exactly know what it is. The hairpiece doesn't convey that same feeling per se, because it wasn't a piece where there was a secondary meaning to there's no secondary meaning to butterflies that was discovered later on, or changed the symbolism of the piece itself, because Fern got that thing when she was like 14, 15, and now we are already like 5 years later. No, not 5 years, but 2 years later
Yeah.
at minimum. And she still has the same hairpiece, and there's no new meaning discovered. So,
Yeah. Well, this is why I was like, because he brings up the whole butterfly thing, right? And it's like, yeah, that's clearly like the character motif, Fern, right? So obviously,
Mhm.
butterfly is the symbol, like it is the symbol associated with her, right? Like that. Yeah, that's clearly what the show is trying to communicate to the viewer, is that butterflies should be associated with this particular character, right? But where this guy loses me is he's acting like that's somehow like smart, right? Like recognizing that and saying that is somehow something that should be treated as like intellectually like profound, when it's like, no, dude. I think everyone understands what a character motif is, right? I think we all kind of get it, right?
I mean, the Monogatari series, every character is associated with a thing, and mostly animals,
Yeah.
but also like vampire. Karen bees, Mayoi snail, Suraga monkey, Hitaki crab, blah 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 blah. And those elements do happen to show up every now and again, not all the time. Sometimes they lose a thing because Karin still spores like a mostly yellow and black theming colors. It's not like that Hitagi still walks has a crab shadow or anything. But Hitaki has other things to her character besides crabs. Mayoi has
Yeah.
other things besides snails. She still has her twin tails.
Yeah,
That's good. Still, whatever.
Yeah. I think it comes back to like he just comes off as being incredibly vapid and full of himself a little bit, because he's acting like very basic shit is like pinnacle of fucking intellectualism. But let's keep going.
A bunch of other evidence demonstrates that Fern represents the transition from elves' dominance over magic to humans' dominance over magic, tying the common associations of butterflies' metamorphosis to this significant historic change. And you could argue that Fern's arc was set up and foreshadowed as early as her introduction in the second episode. You could also argue that the butterflies represent her affinity for magic. Mana is constantly tied back to nature. The butterfly could represent Fern's arc as a coming-of-age story, or it could be about short, beautiful life cycles, tying back into Friren's arc as she outlives everyone around her. Every one of these interpretations is
So yeah, people can have different interpretations of different things. That's great. That's, again, we're not really breaking any ground here, right? We're not really.
No.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah.
a combination of different sets of evidence. What we do know is that butterflies are important and recurring without ever explicitly being stated why. So as I've tried to understand media literacy better, I think this serves as the fundamental core. It's funny how I thought I understood media literacy very well, and maybe do intuitively, but when I actually had to put it to terms and explain it, it was a lot harder than it seemed. Luckily, my brother and my sister-in-law are high school English teachers, and they equipped me with a great place to start: the 3 levels of reading comprehension. The first level.
Oh boy. Boy.
High school English. We're getting high school level
Yeah.
reading.
As our boy Rome in the chat says, like it's okay to have them, just don't let them overshadow the original work. Yeah, that's a common problem, is people like to have their interpretations of things and then act like that is the like only interpret like that is the way you have to see the work, right? Like you can't, there's no other way to sort of interpret this particular thing, and then they go online and get really mad when people don't agree with them. Especially if their interpretation is incredibly fucking wacky.
I mean, I can.
But yeah,
I'm
this is
not.
very.
I'm never against having weird interpretations, odd interpretations, interesting interpretations. Even like often, it's even not bad to have like a banal interpretation.
Mm,
But you know, the fun of analysis and whatnot is to discover something. Saying that Fern is Fern is paired with butterflies, alright, but why is the butterfly? Not it is a butterfly, we can see that, but why is it a butterfly? Is there something inherent in the what a butterfly is that we can apply to Fern? I don't necessarily see, because you know, butterfly is about, you know, change from lowly worm to butterfly. I don't really feel that Fern embodies that element of change very much. So it feels like it's just a you know, it's your Oshi mark for
You're Oshimark.
for Fern.
Goda's also brings up a good example of like the shipping culture and that kind of thing, which is always a fun. That's a good example of people taking their like interpretations way too far. It's very obnoxious. But anywho, let's hear about high school level stuff.
The level of understanding media is literal. Can you literally read the words on the page and understand what's being said? Can you watch an anime and follow what's going on? While this seems basic and often is, not all stories are easy to follow. There are many books famous for how difficult they are to even understand. Ulysses and Infinite Jest are obvious examples that come to mind for me. Good examples of this from anime are Steins Gate and Sunny Boy.
Is Steins Gate hard to understand, Ellie?
No.
Is it really that hard to understand Steins Gate? I haven't watched Sunny Boy, so I can't comment on that
Me
one.
neither,
No,
but
Steins Gate is not that fucking complicated. Like, come on.
It is like a mystery novel in that you want discovering what's going on, but thematically it's rather straightforward.
Yeah, it's
mystery
so
novel,
easy to,
consequences.
Trying and retrying different variations to get the one you want,
and realizing that all of them, you know, you have to give up something. You know, all the fun changes you did made things worse actually. So you need to give up those fun little changes to get the thing you actually want.
It's kind of ironic that our boy here brings up Steins Gate because there was actually a Twitter drama around. Because so if you don't know, they're bringing out like a remake for some fucking reason. I don't know why. Like Steins Gate needs a remake, right? It's very, very weird.
I mean, I'm conceptually and most of the time I'm fine with remakes of new shows. Like, you know, the Spice and Wolf remake reanimation, right?
Well, I mean that's fine. It's just I think the issue is, and this is where the drama comes in, is they've really changed the art style quite a bit, and I'm gonna be real. I'm not a fan. Because I am a hike. I can't pronounce this. I can pronounce this fucking properly, right? I'm a purist, right? I am a purist, and I can show an example of this if you get the chat thing going. I'm grabbing it from Twitter, right? Because people showed it from the trailer. Like, where is it? Images for streams. I'll let you get the bot going.
So I have to turn on the bot.
Yeah, because this is a fun sidetrack. So. And we might have a bit of a debate about it, considering what you just said. But basically, like my issue with it is kind of you have like a visual novel, which is very like visual novels because they're visual, right? Are very reliant on their art styles, right? You could argue the same for an anime, right? Which is why and sometimes remakes of stuff can end up being fine. Like you mentioned, the Spice and Wolf anime and whatnot is pretty alright from what I remember you telling me, right? But like I look at like Hike's original art, right? And this is the one that everyone's talking about, and I'll explain why in a second. Like Hike's original art to me is really, really good. Not necessarily because like in terms of anatomy, it's kind of a bit weird. Like the perspective, and
There
you'll
we
see this
go.
when I post the second. You'll see this when I post the like
Yeah.
the new one. Like the perspective is a little weird. Her face is a bit flat, right? But there's a charm to it, and I think part of that is people refer to it as the mold texture. It's not actually mold; it's rust. Because I've watched Hike actually speed paint and work, and what he does is he takes like an actual photograph of a rusted piece of metal, right, and then he overlays that on top of the image to create that texturing effect, right? It's actually very good. Like back in the day, like that you can do that very easily in Paint now, but back in the day that was a bit difficult. But there's like a charm to the original style because it's a little bit jank, right? But then you look at sorry, accidentally. But then you look at this, which is the same shot or the same CG in the remake, right?
Let me. What should you?
It's gonna be
Yeah.
what I might do is I might. It's gonna probably not work, but because you kind of need to have them both up at the same time to really get the comparison going.
Yeah,
right?
it's less grainy. It's less.
Yeah, it's clean, right? And it's not just that it's clean, but like the thing that everyone's talking about is your fucking breast size, and I don't really give a shit about that. Like, even though I'm Naretsu the perv, and you would think, oh wow, they buffed her breast size, that's great. No, like I don't actually give a shit about that. I give a shit about two things, right? Like I give a shit about the fact that it's cleaner. Like there's a slight texturing, but it's not as textured, which I think really detracts from the overall style of it. And I also but the thing is I can see the improvement, right? Like her face isn't flat anymore, right? Like the face isn't flat. She's a little bit less skinny, right? Overall, the proportions are actually a lot better, right? The camera angle is a little bit, a little bit better. Like how she's like presented inside the space, right, is a lot better and whatnot. But I don't know. I'm sorry. The original has soul. It has soul. I'm sorry. I don't like it. I don't like the new style. And this applies to like everything I've seen from the remake. Because another part of the remake is that they are, they're kind of live 2D'ing a lot of the fucking like assets, right? Like a lot of the normal CG assets, right? For when characters are talking, they're all like live 2D now, and they're all super fucking cleaned up. And I just don't like it. I just don't. I'm just not into it. I think it's like it's not like the remake existing me because you can buy Steins Gate like the original right now on like Steam, right? I own it, right? I do actually have to fucking get around to playing it because it's like, oh yeah, I gotta start a 50-hour fucking novel. It's like an 80-hour fucking visual novel. Like you gotta be in like the right mindset for that. At least in my mind, because it's just how it is with time and whatnot, right? But I like. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of this new style they've got going on here, and even though the remake doesn't mean that like the old one ceases to exist.
Yeah, that's why I don't mind. You have to actually delete the old one for me, and make it unavailable in the rate
and I
for me
get
to
that.
be bothered by that.
I get that, but I feel like it's hard to kind of describe it, right? But it's sort of like I feel like I don't want to say it's an insult to the art, right? Like I
Mm,
don't want to be that extreme, but I do feel like it's like it because we talk a lot about are video games art, right? Like we treat video games like art. Like I want you to imagine like, oh, someone's gonna like remake the Mona Lisa, right?
yeah.
And we're gonna take the Mona Lisa and we're gonna like put that in like a small corner of the fucking art gallery, and then we're gonna put up like the new Mona Lisa as like the Mona Lisa. That's what it feels like to me, in a sense, right? Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I'm not a fan, but this was a bit of a side tangent. But I thought it was relevant just because it's like because it also goes into art analysis because I'm analyzing like the two different like CGs. Because again, it's like I said, like the new one is like objectively better, right? In terms of like actual technical skill, right, on display, right? But despite that, I think it's lost something along the way, right? Like there's something missing from it, and I don't think it's just like a nostalgia thing either. Like I feel like having that kind of rust texturing and the kind of like flat faces and lanky, like because Kirisu's meant to be kind of like a scientist girl, right?
Mm,
Doesn't really make sense for her to be like maybe not plump.
voluptuous and
Yeah,
whatnot.
it doesn't really make sense for her to be like she's meant to be attractive, but I don't think she's meant to be like in the original CG she comes off more like what you would expect like a scientist character girl to have in terms of a body type, right? It makes a lot of sense. Whereas with this it's
Skinny,
yeah, skinny,
lanky.
lanky, yeah, yeah, but she's still attractive though, right? Like she's still got that sauce, right? She's still got this, as the kids would say, right? She's still got the sauce. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's my like critical analysis of the of the
Tangent of art.
my media literacy on display as I analyze the Steins Gate CG. Let's see what Good is saying in the. Let's have a look at what the chat's saying before we move on. Yeah, I gotta scroll up a little bit because it was a while. Oh man, you guys are Gooder, Gooder and Rom. You guys were going off. Hang on, I gotta have a look. Where were we? Yeah, the art style. Yeah, as long as they don't delist the original, who cares? Yeah, I can agree with that. Like, I think people should probably play the original. Personally, there is like another version. I think what's it called? There's one that like uses the anime CG. Like it uses like the anime screenshots or whatever. Apparently that one was not that great. I think it's called like Elite or something. And allegedly they're using the Elite script for this new remake, which has also got people a little bit up in arms. So it's not. So it's almost like it's not like a remake of the original game. It's like a weird mismatch of different versions of the game mixed together. It's kind of weird. Yeah, as long as they don't do this, who cares? That's yeah. HUKE. I can never fucking pronounce it because of the autism, but it's like Hook Hike, something like that. I've been a fan of his work for a long like Blackrock Shooter days, right? Like original Blackrock Shooter days. Like I love his fucking style. It's like one of the things I want to try and imitate in my own work. Maybe not imitate's the wrong word, but like artist model, right? As we say. Yeah, loses the original flavor. I don't know if we're talking themes. Steins Gate isn't that hard to understand, but if we're talking keep track of where we are in the timeline and the changes that have been made, it can be hard to track. Yeah, I think that's the problem. Is the guy in the video doesn't really like what are we talking about here, right? Like, are we talking about like the themes and the media literacy reading of what Steins Gate stands for, or are we talking about like the actual? I guess he mentioned like the literal sense, right? Like literally being able to read the text. But even then, I would argue that like if we're talking about the anime, it's not that difficult to comprehend what's happening. Um, New one looks sanitized.
Yeah.
Looks like a generic VN. I think the problem is the original style is a bit uncanny, which benefited the original story. The jank is, that's what I'm saying. The jank is part of the flavor. It's like Final Fantasy VII RE versus 7. RE might as well be an insult to the original, but I don't feel like the new Steins Gate one is an insult. Yeah, I don't want to be that extreme, right? Like, I don't want to be like, oh, this is an insult to the art and the artists and the blah blah, right? But there is like this weird, like, kind of feel to it, right? It doesn't feel right. It's got bad vibes, you know. But anyway, I've caught up with the chat, so let's go.
Yeah.
The literal story beats are demanding to keep up with. The second level of reading comprehension is inference, the ability to read between the lines and see what's being implied without directly being stated. And the third and final level is application, taking a story and applying it beyond itself, placing it in context surrounding it, and extending it to things like social structure, history, or your personal life.
Okay. Okay. All right, I guess. My life is like a video game.
I mean, alright, so the blah blah blah, because it was on screen for a minute. Oh, only the sword can kill the sword. You need the sword to save the world. But oh no, the hero is not worthy of the sword. Well, I'm going to do it anyway. And that's kind of a from, hey, you don't need to be, preordained.
the literal biological chosen one, right?
Or fate ordained
you can
savior
still do
to
good.
Yeah. So you don't need to be perfect or whatever. And you don't need to do it alone, etc., etc. So you can apply that to your own life. So you don't have to be perfect. You don't need to have won the lottery or whatever to still. And that's how I applied it to real life.
Yeah,
or something.
it's yeah. But anywho, let's see how he's going to apply his own video.
We'll primarily be focusing on the first and second levels of comprehension because there's tons of depth just in those two. But what I love about Frieren and what it teaches about media literacy is that it gives you a full range from very basic and clear to incredibly complicated. A good example of this is Fern's choice of reward after the mage exam. Evidence 1, when given a choice of any spell she could think of, she chose one that would make her clothes clean and spotless. Evidence 2, Richter shares that he's taking the exam in pursuit of that life-changing reward. Evidence 3, Frieren and Zeria have had fundamental philosophical differences in the way they look at magic. So the seemingly obvious implication is that Fern, through choosing this reward, is declaring that she's a student of Frieren and Frieren's philosophy involving magic.
Hey, look, she's happy because her hands are like that. You see?
Yeah. But again, this feels like very basic stuff, and I don't think most people are like. Again, it's not that they don't understand this; it's that it's not something that really needs to be actively, consciously thought about for most people, right? Because there's a difference between being in like, I'm going to watch this and be entertained by it mode, and I'm going to sit here and deeply analyze every single frame to find the media inference of, this thing. It's like, I was just doing that like mini analysis of like the Steins Gate CG, right? When I look at like artwork, I don't try to, like, it can be hard sometimes because once you get into art long enough, you start getting like an eye for certain things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not like actively searching for, different, like, oh look, the fucking pose is better, it's more anatomically correct. Look, there's like a little thing here that they added that does this, and this, right? Like, I'm not necessarily always in hyper analysis mode actively, right? It's more of a passive thing, I feel, for most people. Like, most people are going to watch the whole... They're going to see that scene, where she's like, "Oh, what spell do you want? Oh, I want the clothes cleaning thing," and they're just gonna be, "Oh, that's in character. That's you know what I mean? That makes sense for her, right? You know, they might not like directly say, "Oh, it's because she is like, I don't know, planting her flag in the ground as a student Farron, right?" But they'll be like, "Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's kind of funny. You know, it's cool."
You
I
know,
don't know if you've
I
got
had a
anything to add
thing.
to
I,
that.
I kind of forgot. Oh, yeah. No, it's not really related. Sorry, but I'll mention it
No,
anyway.
well, I mean, I just had a massive fucking tangent about Steins.
Oh yeah,
You can
no,
have your-
that no. I also now have a somewhat of an eye because I have models that I paint, and then I collect all the paints for all the colors in a character. And oh, what do you know it? Most characters have only like 3 colors. So you can have the whole rainbow, every color with every shade and gradient, but it turns out that most characters just have like 3 colors. Freeron has, white, black, brown, with accents of gold and red. Fern has black, white, and purple. With a small accent of silver. And that is Stark is not the most complex in colors, but most complex in where the colors all are. But Stark is most black, red, black, white. That's his colors.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and this is the Freeman characters. But even if you move on to what we had on screen, right, with our scientists.
Mm.
She is brown white with accent of red. Even her hair is, red hat.
Yeah, white, red, kind of like a grey, like with the jacket, right?
Brownish.
Brown, probably a better idea. Yeah, more brown.
So that's my discerning eye from, hey, which 3 colors am I going to pick out for the paint? And that's the 3 colors that are all the colors that I need.
Yeah, but the thing is 90% of the time, it's not like you need to actually like articulate that, right?
No.
You don't have to like you unconsciously recognize it, but you don't have to necessarily go like completely
the primary color of this character is first primary color is actually black, more than purple, even though more purple is more of a prominent because she's mostly black, right? Or I have to ask you, the artist, Nertsu, is Fern's primary color black or purple?
I would argue that because a lot of the time I have to go back to the video so I can actually see this because it makes it easier for me when I actually have it in front of me.
Oh, Fern is not on screen right now.
That's what I'm trying to do because then if anyone's watching, they can see it too. It makes it easier for everyone. So I would argue that it would be white, black, and purple, right? But usually when we do this, we will go off like the hair color, especially in anime, because that's usually how people are going to like because it's the most standout color. Right, it's the one that is contrast color, right? It contrasts with the white and the black, right? So even though it's a darker purple, which kind of leans more into like the black, right? I would argue that the main color would be purple. Like if I I would color pick her hair color and show it to you, right? And you would probably go, oh, that's Farron, right? But if I color pick like her coat, even though that is like the majority of her, like on screen right now, right? That is the majority of the color that you see is her coat. If I color picked that and showed it to you, right, without any context, you're not gonna be like, oh, that's Farron, right?
Yeah.
Whereas with the hair color, you would. So we would probably go off the hair color more than anything, and that's typically true for most anime characters, right? As you go off the hair color. But anywho, let's get
philosophy involving magic, seeing it as something to pursue from a place of passion rather than functionality and power. But if you take other pieces of evidence, like Frieren consistently getting value from these niche pieces of magic that seem useless, but are actually very functional in niche scenarios, like her bird capturing spell that saves Kane, or is used to catch the Still in the first stage of the mage exam, then add on another piece of evidence that in Fern's fight versus Lugner, she was tracked by blood left on her cloak, and you get a second, also very cool, layered interpretation of that choice. So the reason I think Frieren as a story
Wait, what was the interpretation of her having blood on her cloak?
I mean, let's backtrack a little bit. Let's backtrack a little bit.
that in Fern's fight versus Lugner, she was tracked by blood left on her cloak, and you get a second, also very cool, layered interpretation of that choice.
Yeah, he doesn't actually say what that is. He does. I actually don't know what he means by this. Do you know what he means by this? Are you as confused as I am, Ellie? Because I'm a little
No,
confused.
I mean, can maybe go like 15 seconds? Maybe there was
Okay,
like.
hang on.
Otherwise, I'm.
All right, he's talking about bird spell. Right,
Mhm.
he's talking about the bird spells.
Actually very functional in niche scenarios, like her bird capturing spell that saves Kane, or is used to catch the Still in the first stage of the mage exam. Then add on another piece of evidence that in Fern's fight versus Lugner, she was tracked by blood left on her cloak, and you get a second, also very cool, layered interpretation of that choice.
So he's trying to say that these two things are connected somehow. Like, oh, Farron really likes
Weird spells.
weird niche spells that don't seem like they're useful, but then in like very rare niche cases, they end up being very useful, right? And he's trying to like tie that into the blood tracking, but wouldn't that be more of the demon thing? Like, yeah, I don't know where he's lost me. He's completely
Also,
fucking.
the bird thing was more of a, planting the seeds for a thing that will happen later, more than because you could
In
say
the business, we call this full shit.
yes, because Fern's ability when Fern was first introduced the very first time, Freeman said, "Oh, you're hard to detect," and that comes in later in this arc where Fern surprises the demons because they didn't know she was there. And later in the second season, she is for what it's worth, what's it worth to the demons, she might be literally on the moon for how invisible and far away she is, and that's it again. So for that is just having a thing introduced and then using it later on. What I think is more interesting in regards to the bird catching spell is that in the very brief, say, flashback scene of Serie, when she's talking about your previous disciples, you see a guy using a spell to catch a bird. And this is in relation to how Seri was talking about how she doesn't regret taking on students even though they don't leave their mark in history. Which to me means that you don't need to be like the greatest mage of all time, renowned through the ages, to have a lasting impact or be meaningful to the world. You can just leave a silly spell and people will find a use for it anyway. So and to Frieren or to the world, it might be just a silly spell, but to Serie, it was the spell that one of her disciples made. And Frieren is using it, so Serie cannot really hate blah 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 blah. You're like all connected, all inherited, and all that kind of stuff. That's what I would kind of take away as as something that I would like to something I would mention is that I would mention that because you might miss that spell is the same spell over Fern's motif is butterfly.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going.
So the reason I think Frieren as a story teaches media literacy so well is because they have a full range from incredibly overt messages to layered, complex ones. And I'm going to showcase this by looking at the most recent episode of Frieren, Season 2, Episode 9. If you'd like to avoid spoilers, you can skip to...
Oh yeah, do we need to care about the spoilers, Ali?
We already watched this.
This timestamp. In episode 9 of Frierin's second season, a theme that's been explored throughout the entire series comes up again. The question, what does it mean to be a hero? This theme applies to basically every character in the story, but it's primarily explored through the lens of Himmel. You know, the guy who's literally called the hero. Now, this theme itself is explored in a complete range. The second half of episode 9 focuses on Himmel's memoir, and how he got it. In a flashback, Frieren asks Himmel why he always charges those he helps, to which he responds something along the lines of, by letting people pay us back in the way they can afford, they don't feel indebted to us. The lesson and moral here is overt and directly stated, but it can also be tied to other evidence to infer larger things, like Himmel's general positive mindset and optimism when it comes to the difficult tasks of being a hero.
Yeah, he's a based man. You know, he's very based, Ellie. I'm just reminded of there was like a thing on Twitter ages ago when Frieren was going on where people were like, it was just weird. There was these weird like leftist takes about fucking Himmel. Yeah, this is something Himmel would do. Yeah, like they were trying to like, they were mad about that. I'm trying to remember because it was a while ago, but like for some reason they were mad that people were like either like trying to be more like Himmel or like pointing out like, oh yeah, this is what Himmel would do, right? For like general like good behavior shit. And I guess because a lot of people identify with evil, they just really don't like the idea.
I haven't seen.
Hang on. It's coming to me. Hang on. I'm sorry, Ellie, but it's coming to me. It's like it was something about like. Oh fuck! I lost it again. I almost had the memory. Of the Twitter drama, but it disappeared. God damn it, Ellie! I lost it.
No, I was going to say that I haven't seen anything about. I want to be like.
You wouldn't have seen it anyway.
I want to be like Himmel. No, this was like 5 years ago by now. So I was on Twitter.
Well, no, this was recent. Well, I'm talking about like last
season. Well, then not. I remember 5 years ago, or however, when Frieren season 1 was, that there was like one crime thing, stabbing, theft thing.
Oh, people were memeing about that. Yeah, it was dumbass fucking.
But all I can think of was from, oh, that's a little bit cringe to take your morality lessons from an anime like that.
A little bit.
But, it's fine, I suppose.
I mean, if it means that you actually become a better person, like, who gives a shit, right? But I'm trying to remember, because I think they were, like, arguing that Himmel is boring as a character. I think that's what it was. Like, they're like, oh, he's so boring because he's just, like, a good guy or whatever. And they don't really, like, understanding, like, sort of kind of what our guy here is talking about, like how his like moral lessons are kind of presented and how he kind of operates as a character, right? I don't know how the fuck you could come to the conclusion that he's a boring character. Because he's, I think the other thing is they tried to like say that he doesn't have flaws, but it's like, no, he has fucking flaws. We see flaws of him in the show all the time. Like he's got like a vein streak. He wants the statues. He likes the statues coming up everywhere. He's a little bit, like he's not full of himself, but he does have a little bit of that streak in him, right? So it's not like he's presented as like a holy fucking bastion of like good morality or anything, right? Like, he's flawed in some respects.
Yeah, I can understand some of the thing from that Himmel might be a boring character because I think he still works as a character that he says a thing and then you move on. Because I still feel a connection, emotional resonance with Himmel and Frieren when scenes like that pop up. But if you're bored of Himmel saying something and then Frieren gazing into the distance, then Himmel might be boring.
Yeah, yeah. But anywho, let's continue.
finding beauty and joy in small moments that others might overlook, or his understanding of what it means to be a symbol of hope beyond just an individual. In this scene, the villagers offer him food, something they can't really afford to give up. When Eisen voices what they all know, that they can't take that, Himmel instead asks about a journal, where he starts recording his everyday life. And Frieren, thinking back, distinctly remembers when he lost
Alright,
the journal.
no.
This ties into
Eisen didn't say. It wasn't on Eisen's suggestion or Eisen's admonishment that they didn't take the food or the gold or whatever. It was always Himmel's intention to take something and not their livelihood. It wasn't like Himmel was like, yes, give me all of your money so you can starve to death, poor and penniless.
Yeah, we'll take all of your mushrooms, yeah.
So it was never going to happen anyway. Eisen, in this scene specifically, Eisen, I believe that was Eisen also, Eisen said, why did you take something at all? Right?
Yeah.
So Eisen was even less inclined to take something. Himmel was more greedy than Eisen in this respect. So this framing already is off. It's just kind of annoying.
To another example of media literacy, this time much less overtly stated. So jumping back to the present, Frieren's party needs to cross a gigantic lake. There's a ferry, but they don't really have the means. This, by the way, will come back later, but we'll get to that. But when he shares a potential trade, they can help him by removing a barrier surrounding a monastery where apparently Himmel the hero's memoir lays. They agree, eventually breaking the barrier, and Frieren has this beautiful moment where she finds the journal and reads it for the first time. What might one of the greatest modern heroes write about? Not their grand adventures or achievements, but rather the mundane, the everyday memories that stood out to him. So we get a montage viewed through the eyes of Himmel, drinking from taverns, hiding from rain in caves, and walking on a beach. And as we experience these little glimpses of memories, then suddenly they stop, and Frieren flips to empty pages, which leads to the point of this video, room for interpretation.
No, it was just that he lost it, and that was the end.
Yeah, because it's established that he loses the journal, right? Like he doesn't finish it because he loses it. Like, oh my god, Ellie, he's boiling the water again. He's doing it.
Yeah.
He's cooking water again. It's happening.
What do those blanks mean? For me, there's a couple potential answers.
What do those blank pages mean? They mean he lost the book, bro. That's established in the fucking show. Like, he loses it during the journey. This is like Ellie, this is fucking Curtains Blue type shit, right? Where it's like, bro. The curtains are blue. They're fucking blue.
No, I'll defend blue curtains and whatnot because it can convey a mood, and the mood is here, right? Sudden empty pages is like an abrupt ending.
But the issue is he's like the answer to the question is established already in the episode, right? It's not like a mystery. It's not like, oh, he's making it out to be so much more deep and complex than it is. And that's like the point of the curtains is blue meme thing, right? Where you have these people that just go into these like really, it's so much meaning and I'm a big media literacy man. And then you have the author literally in the work just being like, bro, he loses the fucking book, bro. It's not that deep, bro. Come on. What are we doing?
Answers that immediately come to mind. Frieren's a story about recontextualizing her previous journey through a new one. how she feels about something like this journal and the mundane experiences that Himmel cared about so deeply. It's all changed. She's learning to value her past experiences, but also be present for the ones she's currently experiencing and those yet to come. So maybe those blank pages represent the rest of Frierin's story, or maybe it's something completely different. This flashback that we experience through Himmel's eyes as she reads through the notebook comes to a sudden end. It seems like a potential parallel to the jarring experience that woke Frieren up to all of this, being blindsided by the loss of Himmel in episode 1. But this time Frieren looks up at the statue and smiles. Earlier in the second season.
So, like, my issue here is, like, it's not necessarily that he's wrong in this interpretation, right? Like, you'd agree with me.
No,
here, right?
I would
Like, it's
agree.
not
Like,
like he's
it's indeed a sudden end, and yes, like the in-world, in-universe explanation is that it's
he
that
just
he
loses the
lost
book,
it.
right? He just
He
loses
lost
the book.
it.
Yeah.
But that sudden cutoff would be kind of reflective of the sudden death of Himmel and the sudden
Yeah, from
loss.
Frierin's perspective, right? Like, clearly there is meaning there. Like, again, he's not wrong, and I'm not saying that he's wrong. I just think he's being a pretentious douchebag about it, right? If that makes sense, right? Like, I think that he should have probably brought up the fact that, he lost the book, and that's the reason why. Because he's not, like, I'm thinking about this from the perspective of, let's say, like, I don't care about spoilers, and I'm watching this video as, like, a non-Frieren watcher, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's not actually presenting what happened. Like, it's weird because we usually criticize people for doing, like, the play-by-play explaining the whole plot, right, type thing. But I think in this case, it is important context for what he's talking, because you can still make the interpretative point that he's making about how the abrupt end of the book relates to the abrupt end of Himmel's life from Frieren as the character's perspective, right? But when you don't have that added context, when he's presenting it as like, oh, we just don't know how why it just abruptly ended, like, oh, we just don't know. He's making it more mysterious than it is, right? And I think that's where I have a problem with this, right? He's gassing it up a little bit through, I don't want to necessarily say a lie of omission, right? But it is him leaving out kind of important context, I feel. I don't know if you agree with that or not.
No,
I have a point on it.
The approach of making this so grand and significant, when it is of course a moment for Frieren to reminisce about the past and re-explore a past experience and la 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 la. That's Frieren always. But to layer so many single meanings in a single scene, in a single object, we want to learn something new. We want to have a new interpretation. And the interpretation of the sudden end of the book is kind of enough for me, right? And I didn't really get another interpretation out of him other than sudden end of the book. Besides his, his meta, his video of the pages are what we interpret, or is what we will fill the book with our own interpretations. That is not the series. Frieren isn't about applying your own interpretation to events as a reader of it. That's not what Frieren asks of you as a watcher, as a reader. So I think it's more, a more, clean explanation to focus on the sudden end of the book, and that's, being reflective of blah 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 blah. I am fine with it. I must be fine with it because I mentioned it before the video did. But it's kind of just feels like filling time, wasting time.
Yeah. Again, it's the vapidness of it, right?
Yeah.
It kind of gets to me.
Same as the butterfly. Yes, the butterfly is a kind of a representation of Fern, but there doesn't seem to be a symbolic, any symbolism of the butterfly and what butterflies usually represent, or even represent in Frieren, that reflects something about Fern's character. That there doesn't seem to really be a real connection with a butterfly means this in Frieren, and that characteristic also can be found in Fern. There's nothing, Frieren doesn't say butterflies means this, Fern is like this, therefore Fern is like butterfly. That doesn't exist. So it's pure aesthetic. The butterfly symbolism. There's no symbol. So there's no symbolism. There's only aesthetic of the butterfly. But also, he didn't give any interpretations of the symbolism of a butterfly himself. He just says, "Oh, the jewelry
Did you notice? Yeah, did you notice the butterfly?
So he doesn't even himself give a real explanation, interpretation of what the butterfly could mean or what jewelry even means. He just says jewelry is a symbolism.
Yeah.
So I'm missing an actual substantive interpretation. Something like he mentioned finally here. The book means an abrupt end. He might have mentioned another one, but we might have forgotten the another interpretation.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, let's continue the video.
Let's keep going.
Of exploring Frieren, I talked about how Frieren seems to be smiling a lot more. She isn't the same apathetic character that we were introduced to, but the lessons Himmel left for her, especially being present and enjoying the journey, seem to have stuck. So what if we dive into the far end of the spectrum, a more complex argument with tons of room for people to disagree with? I think Frieren is constantly asking the question, what is a life well lived? What pursuits should people be dedicating themselves to? There's a whole episode I made from last season talking specifically about Zeria and Frieren's contrast, how Frieren functions as an antagonist in Zeria's story. Because of elves' long lives, this question is exaggerated. They have almost endless amounts of time to search for meaning, and we see a wide variety of outlets. Every elf introduced in the story actually is built around that central concept. Kraft was once a hero and now pursues a life as a priest. Malarde functioned as an agent of chaos, finding ways to entertain herself. Zeria pursues power and control, and Frieren has two focuses, the first being the pursuit of magic. Every time she has an opportunity, she goes out of her way to find odd spells and expand her birth of knowledge. But the more recent adjustment is presence, to value the relationships and experiences she's having now. These topics in themselves are big, daunting, and complicated, so let's zoom in a little bit. There's been a lot of discussion online surrounding money. People have voiced confusion and dismay at Frieren's complete disinterest in making money.
What? What? Have people actually... What? I've not seen any of that.
I don't necessarily even agree that Frieren is not interested in making money.
I mean, it's not like a primary objective or anything, right? Like, it's not. It's like a means to the end kind of thing. Like, they got to make money to continue the journey, so they go do
Frieren doesn't have is bad with money. Doesn't mean that she won't make money.
Yeah, no, it's more like she just uses the money to buy more magical. Like, that's what happened in like
useless
the end of the
magical
season,
items.
Right? And like Fern is like, oh, I hid like half of the money away, so she wouldn't spend it all on useless magical shit. Yeah, no, I haven't seen like anyone like even comment on that. Like, I don't know where he's like. Is he on Blue Sky? Is that where that's happening? Like, I don't know where that's happening. I've not seen anything to suggest like, oh, people are mad that Frieren doesn't give a shit about money. Like, what? Kind of weird.
sometimes arguing it's poor writing for them to leave something behind that might be valuable.
What?
Oh,
Literally, Ellie, literally who? Literally fucking who? I need to see this person.
I do know that people went from they should have taken the gem because it's worth so much. But I think that was more of a joke setup because haha, this is worth so much, but we cannot take it. Oh damn, that's a shame. But the point really was about the magical nullification effects. It wasn't about, and of course, kind of Frieren was Fern was proven right. If they took the gem, they would have surely died from falling. So yeah.
I'm just like, I've never seen a single fucking person be like, oh, they don't care about money, so the show's shit, or anything like this. Bad writing, right? Like, I have no idea what he's talking about. I need to see that person.
This is the only moment. This scene is the only moment where I saw like criticism. In the sense of, oh, they should have taken the gem. And that's the only criticism that ever existed. There was no critiques. It was like, oh, I would have taken the gem. That was like the beginning and end of the whole thing.
I think there's more to it. A clear message being argued with tons of evidence to support it if you just look. That being said, the further you get into inference and interpretation, the more
but you
room
don't
there is
want
for
to give
someone to just disagree.
the evidence.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I've not seen anything. I don't know what he's talking about.
So I'm going to make a case for how Frieren's relationship with money is such an interesting part of the story.
All right.
Earlier in Season 2, the writing introduced a magic nullifying crystal. When the party stumbles upon one that is worth a literal fortune, they end up deciding to leave it behind. Many people in my comments section couldn't understand that choice, but
oh, that's where he's getting it from. He's getting it from his fucking comment section. Oh, man. Oh, no.
To me, there felt like of good answers. Later in this episode, we have this beautiful scene where we find out just how uncomfortable Fern is without having access to her magic. They liken it to another sense, like sight. Without magic, Fern feels blind. To me, it doesn't feel like a stretch that likely influenced her decision. She, with Frieren's support, is the main advocate for leaving it.
Wait a minute. I get it. Ellie, I've had an epiphany. I understand what happened. People are watching this guy's videos instead of watching the fucking show. Because if they watched the fucking show, they would know that the reason they left the crystal behind is because of the fact that it nullifies the magic and meant that they would be at risk the whole rest of the journey until they managed to sell
but you could just have like Stark carry the crystal. Right.
Yeah, but then Stark and they couldn't be in the vicinity of him, right?
Or protect to be Stark able with
to
magic.
Still use to protect. Yeah, so like that's the there is a valid reason why they left the crystal behind, right? Yeah, like Gouda's right. Like it's a null field. There'd be sitting ducks, right? And that is explained explicitly in the episode. But what's happening is you have these like 4-year-olds, maybe not 4-year-olds, like the kiddies, right? I don't even know if it's the kiddies, but you have these people that can't pirate anime because they're fucking stupid, right? They fucking watch these fucking vapid YouTube essays, right, about these shows, and they don't actually watch the show, so they don't get, because again, I was just complaining about how he left out that context, right, about the fucking like book, right? because he leaves out context clues like that, it means that they're in his comment section being like, "What? Why didn't they just take the gym and make the money? Like it doesn't. I don't understand. Why does it doesn't make any sense? Why would they?" Like I haven't watched the video that he specifically probably got those comments on, right? So I don't know if he did actually explain it in the video. But this is the fucking problem with these fucking um YouTube video essayists and anime reviewers, right? And it's a problem that's existed for since we've been fucking a channel, right? Where people use these videos and use these anime reviews as a substitute for actually watching and engaging with the show. Either because they're too dumb to fucking pirate their anime like the rest of us, or they don't actually have an interest in the show and they just want to be able to talk about it for the social credit, right? So they watch a YouTube video essay and get like the bullet points of, oh, I understand enough about Frieren to be able to talk about Frieren on a basic level, and that allows me to be part of the conversation, right? What do you think? Do you think my assessment is pseudo correct?
I don't know. They might just be speed watching and skipping.
I mean, yeah,
forward.
they could be anime maxing. Yeah, they could like the guy times 2 speed anime maxing because they're autistic and don't have like the attention span. You know, this is just good. God, man.
Also a potential risk that they explicitly discuss. Frieren's party is not only incredibly dependent on magic as its 2 mages and 1 warrior, but also given Frieren's role as a safety net for the other 2, actively carrying around a tool that could make her useless feels like a real risk. This is also further supported in Frieren's general disinterest in making money. It's implied and even directly stated in the story that she could make huge sums if she wanted to or needed it. Literally, when she's put in that position, she kind of immediately does. Though to be fair, that is later in the story. In Season 2, Episode 5, Frieren uses her magic to locate a ton of silver, essentially revitalizing the economy of the Norm Company. It seems like a reasonable assumption that Frieren could make lots of money if that's what she wanted.
Is he also going to ignore the fact that part of the reason why she did that was because she owed, like, the dad or whatever of the guy?
Well,
right?
that means, Naretsu, that she could make tons of money always, all
She
the time,
could.
anywhere.
Yeah, but she doesn't because she doesn't give it. Like, yeah, like it's not hard to like understand that she doesn't really care about monetary like shit at all. Like, and that's probably why she doesn't give a shit about it because as we just established, she could just get it anyway, right? Like, there's not like, why would she need to make a shitload of money and like carry it around with her when she has the capacity to just make enough money that she needs on the fucking spot, no matter where she is?
No,
right?
But that was my thing. That no, she cannot make all the money all everywhere all the time. There might just not be a job for her in every town. There might the people might not have the money that it would be worth all the time, and even if they did, they may not be able to give it to her, like the mining town. Also, carrying a lot of money is annoying. Having a bunch of money invites people coming after you, and where can you spend it anyway if you're always traveling vast distances? You only really need as much money as to go to the next 2 towns or so, right? Because I kind of feel like that the crew is always. Well, Fern said she would have like enough money for a year, but I don't feel like that money went on for a year. Anyway, in the world of Frieren, you save enough money for like 3 towns, and in between you can earn money by doing odd jobs and earn your keep, and then stock up with a little bit of extra money, and so on. I don't know. Yeah, but mostly it's annoying to have carry a lot of money. They don't need that kind of money. Um, there's no real benefit to it.
Yeah.
Especially for Freeman, who might get annoyed that the currency changes every 50 years. Like, damn, I made all this money and now all these coins are worthless because the king died, or the country was taken over during the war. Now all this money is worthless. Why did I spend 50 years collecting this hoard of money when it's now worthless? That for the Elven's perspective, yes, I would understand that you wouldn't bother amassing a hoard of actual coins when it might just disappear so soon.
Mm-hmm. Hang on. Just posting a thing somewhere. All right, let's continue. We're almost done. We only got 2 minutes left.
Hey.
We're very close to the end. Yeah, we're almost done.
And we do know that that does with their time. So then we have a question of why doesn't Frieren care about money? A important repeated point in the story is how everything around Frieren as an everlasting elf feels fleeting. She has no interest in partaking in whatever new bureaucracy surrounds magic because it changes every couple hundred years. Cities and towns that she's familiar with disappear. The people that surround her grow old and pass on. Now, Frieren's apathy at the beginning of the story is built around that which is fleeting. Instead, she finds value in the pursuit of magic, not for power or influence, but from a place of passion, coming back to that difference in philosophy between Zeria and Frieren. Money to those who don't have it is a means to survive. Money for those who already have it can be an expression of power. But for an elf who's lived many generations with very little interest in power or influence, what appeal does making money have? But where this gets really interesting is asking if there is a message being argued. And I think there is. Because things like power and money constantly strip people of their agency, many believe that accruing enough of it will give them control. There are studies in the US that directly correlate being above a certain income and reducing stress in your life. If you can't support yourself, it's harder to be happy. But very often, people who pursue things like power or money as an ends rather than means often dedicate themselves to something that ultimately feels fruitless and empty. I'd argue Frieren, especially after the loss of Himmel, is living a more fulfilling life than Zeria is, and the value Zeria does find in her life is often built around relationships. She expresses even with the disappointment and underlying care and passion for her students, despite the fact that none of them have ever lived up to her expectations. The more one pursues power as a means of control, the more one realizes how limited it is. Those who try to shape their life with white knuckles never learn to let go, to pay attention to where things are naturally pushing you and use that to your advantage. Frieren, as part of the hero's party, is the mage that killed the Demon King. In this story, to do something with magic, you have to be able to imagine it. And those who pursue
just yapping, man.
Yeah,
I zoned out a little bit.
The concept of fleeting bureaucracy like that, right? Also, it was like every 100 years was 50 years that the system changed. To connect that with, you have to be able to imagine the thing to make it. That's Oh yeah, Naretsu, can you imagine the house that you live in?
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
No
gonna
way.
imagine.
Can you imagine the job? Your next job. Can you imagine your next job? You're applying to a job. You have read the description of the job. Is that the same thing? Oh no, you cannot imagine the exact day-to-day task you're going to do at your job. You cannot have the job. Or whatever.
Yeah,
Naretsu, can you imagine your car? Imagine the brand of car. Or whatever. It's... What am I learning from this?
Yeah.
Frieren doesn't care much about money. The reasons are never stated, but it might be related to her aloofness to existence itself. It might be related to that she's not in charge of the money and therefore doesn't need to worry about it because Fern has the money. Frieren is only bothered by not having money when she cannot buy her fancy, dumb, magical toys again. Whatever dragon bone, demon horns, raptor birds she cannot buy, that's an issue. Then it's an issue. But besides that, Fern has the money, so she doesn't worry about it. She doesn't need the money to live, so she doesn't worry about it. She doesn't care much about the world, so she's not really in it to be much part of the world, which involves, and if you have a lot of money, you're becoming more part of the world. Those are not necessarily new, admittedly, parts of Frieren's character, but those are far more better explanations about Frieren's view on money over if she can imagine herself being rich. That was my small rant.
Yeah,
I suppose.
But anywho, almost done.
Pursued magic as a means of power, couldn't imagine living in a world of peace. I think this extends to Fern, who chose a spell to keep her clothes clean, and she seems to be the harbinger of this new era of humans' dominance over magic. Zeria, in pursuit of absolute power, will eventually lose that battle. I think that's a major one of Frieren's themes, built off of a complex network of evidence and inference, from obvious to easy to miss. I think that's how Frieren teaches media literacy. Thank you for watching. I'll see y'all next week.
Peak is back. This was, again, our boy is continuing to boil. Man, that water, man, he's not even, the water is gone. The water is vapor in the ear. It is gone. He's just burning the metal in the pan, right? It's evaporated. It's gone. It's so gone. Like, there's nothing here. It's just basic bitch shit, right? And then he doesn't even provide proper context in that one part that kind of triggered me a little bit. And then he's sort of, I don't know if I can say anything more than I've already said. I don't know why people find this stuff to be so I kind of get midwits. They eat this shit up because they think it's so fucking deep because he uses the fancy language and the cool editing, and it either validates their own opinions about Frieren or it allows them to not actually watch the show so they can talk about it with their friends or whatever. But it's just for people like me, it's just, this is nothing. This is nothing here. It's just vapid. Anyway, what's your take?
I am, for the small pride that it is, I'm proud to have come up with the term boiling water, cooking water, I mean. Because there are the most minorest of interpretations that are interesting, right? The book Sudden Empty Pages is a decent enough sudden end to her existence together with Himmel, their life together, cut short, right? Good. I would agree. Nice interpretation. Etc. etc. But everything else. Oh, the jewelry, a symbolism. What do they symbolize? Never mentioned. Fern is associated with butterflies. What do the butterflies mean, Frieren, the series? What does a butterfly mean to Fern? What is the symbolism of the butterfly in the Frieren, the series, relates to Fern as a character? Nothing. Alright, so we don't learn anything by exploring it. Besides, it doesn't. There's no relationship in between them. The jewelry, they exist. What do they mean? What do they symbolize? I would say they are all the jewelry. Difficult word.
Sorry, it sounded like jewelry. The jewelry.
It's a complicated
This
word.
this stream sponsored by Benjamin Yahoo.
Or
He
whatever.
gives us jewelry.
Jewels.
Alright, I'm sorry.
Even
like
in
jewels. Yeah.
even
Anyway.
even in the episode when Stark and Fern were on that date, the one jewelry that Fern was eyeing wasn't bought by them, but was bought by another couple. So this there is a symbolism or like associations with couples in a sense. But that doesn't really apply to Fern's hair ornament that she got from Frieren because they're not a couple, but they share some respect and whatnot. So that's that. I forget if they did anything else. There was some brief weird thing about weird magic. But I did a piece about Ceres' disciple casting bird catching magic, and Frieren is using it, even though Ciri and Frieren are opposed to each other ideologically. They do use each other's spells because Flamme favorite spell, maybe even if she never invented the spell herself, her favorite spell was the flower spell. And Flamme was also opposed to Ciri ideologically, but still Ciri is using basically Flamme's spell, and Frieren is using a spell that comes from Ciri. So they're using each other's spells regardless. That's a thing that you could point out. La 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 la. The book. La 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 la. I don't think that's anything. But those are like 3 examples. I think you could cover these like in 5 minutes at most, right? But there was so much nothing. I felt fearing there was some weird connection between wealth and being able to imagine being wealthy. Did he connect them? I might have spaced out at that moment.
I was getting a bit spacey out at the there a little bit because it's just fucking. Oh man. But anyway, I guess we can transition to Animu talk. Now we're gonna probably maybe not speed run our Animu talk, but because it's like been 3 weeks almost, and we're at like 3 episodes, we're gonna kind of go a little quick, go a little quick, just a little bit quick. Let's get a slide up, and then we'll just figure out
this
what
one first.
Talk about bam, bam.
All right, so you go first, Mitsu.
My perverted housewife show. It's going good. It's going good. Short episodes, pacing's very quick. It's not terrible. It's okay animated. It's it's doing pretty good. I think it's worth the watch, especially since it's a short show, right? You could just slap it on and just quickly get through it and not have to worry about it too much. I don't really have anything to go into in terms of specifics with it, but I'll just say, it's good. It's work. It's going good. It's doing fine. It's fun times. Very good. Anyway, what about Snowball Earth? I'll
Snowball Earth. So turns out it's only 10. It's only 10 years since Boy went into space to deal with the evil once and for all and failing, and suddenly coming back to Earth, and the whole Earth is a snowball. Turns out that Kaiju, humanoid Kaiju, came along and kind of just froze the whole Earth. There was like a a Kaiju defense force, an Earth defense force, but they've been kind of just wiped out in the early stages in the sudden chaos and they have been kind of slow. They still exist, but they're kind of like a heavily diminished, in a heavily diminished form. There are the community that that our protagonist is in has is built up on top of a kaiju. Oh no! Turns out there are people, the white-haired girl on the poster, that can talk to kaiju. You can tame a kaiju, kind of. So she kind of tamed a kaiju, a fire kaiju, and now this kaiju is underneath the school that they are using as their whole community. Uh, so it doesn't freeze over that place. All right, cool. Now Naretsu. Turns out that there are remnants of the Earth Defense Force, and they are assholes. They're coming. They're going to come and take the fire kaiju because they need it more than those people do. So and oh, this the hero with the robot that was killing 1,000 kaiju is now in this community, killing a couple kaiju and saving the people there. Oh, kill him too, because he's in the way of our plans. We cannot have another savior doing stuff that are maybe disrupting our
bad.
plans. We are going to follow our plans. If you're in the way, doesn't matter if you have like a whole dozens of families that rely upon this tamed kaiju that keeps the place warm and not deathly frozen over. Too bad. Just we're going to artillery strike the whole school with all the families and babies and children in them to get
yeah, true. Look, the Jewery continues. the Jewery continues.
Nah, we'll separate the religion.
Approved by Netanyahu.
Separate the religion from the states, Naretsu.
You know I'm memeing. Come on.
Yeah. But let's be a little bit
know
explicit.
I'm memeing.
Let me explicit about that.
Yeah, I know, guys. Yeah, there's a difference, guys. I'm joking. Calm down. YouTube,
except the, of course, the whole striking of schools and families.
Look, chill. But anyway, Ellie, push up.
Yeah. I might have not watched the last episode where the human defense force are attacking the humans. And how's that going to handle? But it's kind of interesting that the protectors of humanity, driven to such an extreme situation that they've gone kind of overboard in their incessant need of control. Right? Oh no, we lost control. Better go control overdrive and control everything. And if you're not able to be controlled, we're going to kill you. So because we cannot control you. That's what I kind of get out of it.
I guess we'll do Yohama Sensei, because I actually watched that last night.
I only watched like the one episode. I haven't been able to capture.
I haven't watched the one. I haven't watched the one that came out like today, like the one that came out literally today. But I watched the one that came out like last week, like the last Sunday's one, right? So they were at the like school trip and doing stuff. This show's fun. I like it. It's entertaining, right? I was worried that the gag was going to get kind of stale, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they're kind of doing enough with it, but especially by introducing like our pervert girl.
Mm-hmm.
Who's just like a shut-in sort of neat type character who gets kind of dragged into school but on the promise of like typical ecchi hijinks that do in fact happen. Right? So yeah, I felt like that was kind of good. And then with the most recent one where they go on the school trip, it's just it's fun little gags that I think the show's pretty entertaining. I think it's all right. I'm starting to kind of turn around on it. I don't know about you. What do you think?
Oh no, I wasn't. I only watched the first episode. I haven't watched anything else of it.
Oh, okay.
Might be dropped, might not be in the end.
Might be dropped, might not be, but I'm gonna keep up with it. I think it's kind of all right. It's fun. It's a fun little show. Anyway, I gotta go take a piss. I'll be right back. You pick a show.
I can talk a bit about Tadaima Oja. Difficult. It's late. That's my excuse. It's late. I'm still. Did I talk about this or was I still muted then? For the last 2 nights, I've been gaming hardcore deep into the night, playing Victoria 3 from Paradox. I had a good run with Japan. I went pretty good, but then I realized, didn't go bankrupt, reformed the government, opened up Japan, no stupid Americans or British whoever were invading me. And I was like, hey, I can this industrialization, I understand what I should be doing. All right, better start a new game so I can learn all the things about it. But meanwhile, I was, after my 3 hours in my atelier, painting and sanding down models and doing all that stuff. After the 3 hours of that, it's 9-10 o'clock. And then I was gaming for another 5 hours and then go to bed and go to work.
Time.
And then I did it a second time, and that second day, I was just tired the whole day. That wasn't a very good move.
This is all to say that you haven't watched certain things.
No, but also that I have an excuse for my bad pronunciation, Retsu. I am tired.
Oh yeah. Fair enough. So what are we talking about?
I didn't catch the last episode of the insane girl with 2 men besides, sandwiched between 2 men non-sexually.
Big love triangle thing.
Yeah.
Stuff.
It's interesting. It's fun to watch. It's light. There isn't much in this way of, to talk about, other than that the blonde boy is somewhat realizing that he has a crush on her, but he is still under the impression that she is dating Glasses Boy, and that they're basically might as well be married for all he cares, right? But he is processing in a weird way that he likes her, but not yet knowing it. Also because she might as well be married to the other guy. So it's kind of getting, the love triangle is somewhat shaping up, and the boiling point might be that he realizes that they're not actually married or a couple or something like that. So that's the deal with that show. Shall we do the Needy Girl Overdose?
Yeah, so this is a big Lee symbolism, media literacy, big oh boy, let's big analytical shit, and I'm like, so it's been so long. I did watch the most recent episode, but the love gone out of the brain. Well, not necessarily, because one of the episodes was basically the backstory of sort of our not our main girl, but the video game main character, right? And we get to see kind of the parents are divorce, right? Big divorce, big oh no. kind
I
of falls
just
into.
do one note. I find it interesting that they both accused each other of not loving her, and it turns out that they're both
Mm,
right.
they're
Ta-da-da.
both fucking shit. Yeah. Um, I the thing with the show, right, is it's hard for me to tell if it's like too full of itself or not. Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it feels like it's being a bit pretentious, right? Like it's trying to say something really, really deep, but that's the issue is that it's not sticking the landing, if that makes sense. So it comes off as just like over the top, right? Because you have this situation where yes, it's a bad family situation, and that obviously tends to lead to psychological problems in children that they take on to, adult life. It's very
Mm-hmm.
common, right? We've seen this a million times. But this then transitions into, oh, she's convincing her classmate to like attempt to kill other classmates. And she beats the shit out of her mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like like it goes from like 0 to 60, right? Very like maybe not quickly, but I don't know if it's like in a realistic sort of way, if that makes sense, right? And I guess that kind of like well, I'll let you go if you want
No, I
to add to
kind of
that.
for this part specifically, I was very much fine with it. That I could feel
Mm,
that the abuse they both suffered, right,
yeah.
meant that they really were kind of believably relying on each other, and that she was more manipulating him than he was her, really.
Mm,
That
mm.
she was really like mother, especially when the mother was just, "Hey, daughter, why don't you prostitute yourself to support
Yeah,
my
that was
life?
wild. Yeah, that was some wild shit.
Hey, this guy that I'm
Mom's
fucking says he's getting bored of me, but he notices you. Why don't you fuck the guy that I'm
yeah, that
fucking?"
was fucking wild. And look, like I'm not gonna say that's not real, because that kind of shit does happen, right? Like, let's be honest here. I'm just like, again, it feels like the show's trying to tackle these like serious subjects, right? But I'm not unconvinced that it has the capacity to pull it off, I guess. And I don't
But
feel like it's pulling it off.
I was convinced in that episode specifically that it was pulling off.
Mm.
I felt it was say appropriate enough for that show.
Maybe I'm being overly critical then. Like, I'm not sure. It's just like when I'm watching it, right? I just have this like weird feeling about it. Like I get this vibe that it's trying too hard, maybe. That's kind of my thing. But
No,
again,
but
I could just be being like overly critical and
and
retarded about it. Like I'm not sure.
I do want to mention that I do feel that the because the game existed first and the game was just, oh, there
Mm.
she is. There wasn't really a big backstory to her and her
Yeah,
youth and
you
growing
get
up.
like, because again I watched like a video to like prep myself on it, right?
Mhm.
The show. You get like bits and pieces of like the lore through like certain text messages and like stuff. Like the guy in the video talks about it. Like there are like hints about like the divorce and like the parents and the stuff, but it's
Mm,
hard in the context of the game because she's fucking insane, right? Like it's hard to tell what's like truth from lie, right? Like what is she saying that's like actually what happened versus her messed up interpretation of what happened because she's losing her mind, right? In the internet stuff, right? Because that's kind of like supposed to be sort of the theme of like the whole like franchise in a sense, right? Is like you have this like online persona versus your real life persona, and the real life persona is getting like overtaken by the virtual one, right? In a sense. And then, so you end up in this situation where, okay, what is like the truth versus the fiction, right? But in the context of the show, right,
mm.
looking at the show on its own, right, I think that it's a fine episode to establish like, okay, this is the character's
Yeah,
like
and what I
backstory.
want to mention from that is that I thought that the backstory they gave her does really fit the character that we know in the
Yeah.
game.
No, I agree with
It
that. Yeah, no, I
explains
agree with that. Yeah.
her idol magical girl thing that she goes on, her knowledge of
Fascination, yeah.
her knowledge of like Tosatsu and games.
Yeah,
Um,
because she's like watching
uh,
VHS.
it's
uh,
I suppose it also reasonably explains her sexuality and her views on sex. That she was
mm.
semi kind of forced into a somewhat prostitutionary
Well, it
protection.
doesn't. I don't think it like states that she actually did it.
Well,
But it is like
blowjob.
she's
She
like
did give
her.
like a
She's
blowjob because the boys protected her from her bullies.
oh, did she? I don't. Oh, yeah, she did kind of.
Yeah.
Again, it was a while ago, so I'm
So there
kind of
was
out of
like
it.
this
Well, okay, okay. Oh,
prostitutorial
I get it
thing
now. You
going
know, the
on.
way I would describe it, is that she's viewing like sex as like a transactional thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like it's a you did something for me, you get the BJ because that's how her mom treats the sex, right? The
yeah.
mom is like actively prostituting herself for money, whether or not she like has to do that to keep like rent or whatever or not, right? Like justifications, like whatever. The fact of the matter is that has instilled like the view within the daughter that sex is a transaction, right? Not a, you know, typical like love or whatever type thing. So, but no, yeah, again, maybe I'm just being overly critical. It kind of doesn't help that a lot of the shows like it is very steeped in that sort of symbolism. Read between the lines, you know, you
Mm-hmm.
have to kind of like stuff is explicitly said sometimes, but it also can be a little bit, you know, really have to focus on what you're watching. We then kind of, you know, not to give like a play by play necessarily, but we do get to kind of go into like, okay, now we're going to see the other main character, right? Our other girl, our Kane or
Yeah.
Kakashi Kane.
The
I don't know how to pronounce it.
outsider.
The outsider, yeah. And her, I don't know, relatively justified crash out on the band guy, the
Yeah.
boyfriend, the date raper. It's not like what's the term for it? Because it's not like marital, because they're not married, right?
Basically, basically the same.
It is the same thing. It is the same thing. It's just not. It's just not like fucking marital. It's like girlfriend or whatever. But yeah, she breaks up with him and like kicks him out and breaks his guitar, and then it's like he goes back to his band and starts making music again, even though he wasn't making music while he like it's. I find it interesting because the implication, in my view, is that they were both kind of holding each other back in a sense, right? Because he's basically essentially being a bum online trying to do like I guess streaming stuff, right? And video
Just
game
gaming all
stuff.
day.
And like yeah, he's doing all that shit while essentially just fucking her on the side, right? Meanwhile, she's stuck in like the hostess gig, just kind of doing whatever, you know, to make the money and you know having to deal with like creepers and shit. And then comes home to getting to, you know, having to, you know, bang the boyfriend, right? Who's essentially being a lazy bum. But then is
Yeah.
the moment he gets kicked out, he's suddenly not the lazy bum and he's back to doing creative shit with his band again.
So
Right.
that's also like that was annoying to see. Like,
Yeah.
why are you? So you could have done this all along.
You could have done it all along. You just didn't because you're like, I don't know. It's almost like I've seen what pussy does to an. Right?
And it makes them lazy nothing.
Lazy or something. Yeah, I don't know. It's I get kind of what they're trying to say with it a little bit, but at the same time, it's kind of weird. Which then kind of moves into our next episode, where she's new hairstyle. You know, the streamer group, right?
The
is
rival
like
streamer group. We
yeah,
get
they're
kind of
like
their
encouraging. Yeah, they're like encouraging her. They're like, yeah, no, it's fun, it's cool, good. Fuck that guy, right? Time to get a new look. Look at how expensive everything. But Don't worry about it. It's fine. Be slay queen, right? um, I'm interested. I am interested to kind of see where this goes because it is an interest. Like I feel is going to be a downward spiral for these characters at some point because of this franchise. But we'll see what happens. But we get kind of our backstory. Well, we already sort of knew the backstory of the lollipop girl, pink lollipop, whatever her name is. Like
Toxic.
we did, yeah, the lolly girl, I guess, right? She's not really. I don't know if I'd class her as a lolly, like the short girl, the young girl.
Yeah.
We get kind of like more of a contextual to the because we know the backstory of her like wanting to play games with our main streamer girl, right?
At that one
our
moment,
K Angel, right? At
Mhm.
the super chat and being recognized and becoming a fan. But now we get to kind of see like, yeah, she goes to like the event and then she gets absorbed looking at the poster and misses the train home and almost gets kidnapped, I guess, and sexually assaulted on trying to get home. And is saved by our other two streamer girls, right?
Mhm.
That kind of like that, yeah. And then they form the group. She ends up kind of growing confidence, becoming pretty, adopting the persona, right? Starting the group. And I thought it was pretty alright. I think it was okay. It's I'm more into like it's weird because I'm feeling like there's gonna have to be a shoe drop at some point. Like something's gonna happen, or there's gonna be some kind of like fuck around that happens that causes these characters to go insane because that's just how this like franchise tends to go, right? And I have a feeling it's going to be like Ame because Ame meets this lollipop girl at like the arcade, right? I feel it's going to be kind of Ame's influence on her,
Mm.
right? Like not K Angel's influence, but Ame's influence on her that might cause like a shoe drop moment. But we'll see how it plays out. Overall, like I'm critical, right, a little bit, but overall, I'm not going to say that it's like terrible, right? Like it's entertaining, right, and it is definitely like visually and artistically very compelling, right? There's a lot of very good like the whole set. Did you because there was the whole section where like K Angel is like a plushie and comes out of the
Yeah.
in real life and like starts puking on the keyboard and stuff,
Because
right? Like this,
the room is gross. Yeah.
like yeah, like there is some fun like stuff going on, and it is a very creative series. So I'm not gonna knock it for that. I just feel like sometimes, in my view, it can get a little bit just a little bit too much. Maybe just a little, the tone of, maybe a little bit too full of itself. Just a little bit, just a tad, just a little bit. But yeah, that's me. I don't know if you've got anything else you want to add to that.
There's one thing that I want to note that the streamer group talks about how they're cutting through the toxic comments stuff and all that thing, and even the girl that is breaking up the punk girl as she is was also very pretty much affected by all the online comments about her. What she all did was if she was nice enough and if her tits were large enough in the bar that she was working. And it was somewhat interesting in that she compared her own negative comments to the guy who didn't get any comments, that he didn't even exist anymore.
Yeah.
But for what we've been told, the group, of course, has all these negative comments that they are being compared to K Angel, and that she is so much better and whatever, because she's bigger than the group together, basically. So, but they are pushing through. They are ignoring the trolls and all that stuff. And we get like K Angel for a very brief moment, as I said, from Hey, oh yeah, I see you guys that see me for the first time and say, oh hey, you're hot, can I fuck you? I see you, I'll ban you, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
There's one scene, Naretsu, where we see her, when we see Ame wearing the outfit, but the wig is off, screaming and yelling and bashing the keyboard at the negative comments.
Mm, mm. Yeah.
So, might this be a prelude to the crash out that we might see in the other streamer group? Or is just K-Angel
Maybe.
being not herself, because that's a very mean thing to say, but the lie of not being affected eventually has to come out. You are affected.
Mm,
Or is it that K-Angel is
mm.
alone or something? You know, all these considerations.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to say about Needy Girl Overdose. Interesting still.
Yeah. It's not bad.
They've
It's entertaining.
made a very good story about from the game.
Yeah, definitely. And it's kind of its own thing too. Like, I don't feel like you need to have played the game to kind of get what's going on, at least based off what I've seen of the game. So, but anywho, next slide, I guess.
No, I got
Right
Witch Hat.
Oh, you haven't done Witch Hat yet. I thought when you were talking about your
No,
like, oh, I didn't watch it. Like,
no.
you were talking about Witch Hat as well. But okay,
Nah.
I'll let you.
So Naretsu, unfortunately, it's peak.
Oh no!
The show is peak,
Rip.
unfortunately.
Oh no!
I've
been owned on the internet.
Yes,
oh, no.
you have. It continues to be super pretty. There have been action scenes with dragons and basically magic fights. And the scenes are super cool and dynamic and impressive and all that stuff. The characters are moving and acting and doing things. Realistically is of course a bad word, but with emotion and intent and following along their character traits and motivations. We kind of finished. We are kind of being just introduced to the antagonists of the story, Naretsu.
Oh boy!
You might be thinking that the brimmed hats, the traditional witch hat, the evil group of witches that don't confine themselves to the code to not use magic, that only use the approved types of magic, and those evil witches are using all the magic that are even the unsanctioned magic, and spreading the magic to the people that just willy-nilly and not to the select few. Natsu, they are not the antagonists. Because those witches want Coco to use magic. And Coco wants to use magic. No, Naretsu, we are talking about the Knights Morales.
Oh.
The Knightly Order of Moral Spellcasting.
So wait a minute. The Knights Morales.
Yes.
What a fantastic name that is. Man, I wonder what the Knights Morales does, Ellie. What the...
They are looking for anybody who breaches the code, who learns about magic or uses magic the wrong way, and erases all memories of magic.
Oh shit! It's the police.
If they discover or find out,
it's the magic ATF. They've arrived.
If they find out that Coco has learned magic unsanctioned by using by the picture book through the brimmed hats, they will come for her and erase all the memories related to magic to her, which presumably includes
they might even shoot a fireball at her dog. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I get one. I get the ATF's jokes at least once.
So, Natsu, they are the antagonists. they haven't shown up yet, but they have been mentioned as a force that will erase her memory if they are allowed to. So
Oh no.
I thought that was interesting. Just for next week, the episode basically ends where one of the disciples, one of the students of this atelier of Keyfree, the guy, Master Keyfree, wants to do a magic outside of the atelier. She's an apprentice. She can only use magic or study magic inside this, under the supervision. But somebody came knocking on the door and said, Mr. Witch, help me. My son is in a carriage of a storm. And the bridge broke, and now my son is in the middle of a small island in a raging river that is overflowing.
He's gonna die. Help him.
And
please.
So Keyfree, Witchmaster, Witch Teacher says, "All right, I'm coming to help." But this girl, this kind of the oldest girl here, the girl that is the most experienced and also the most ambitious, wants, Keyfree, take me with you. I'll help. But I am actually not. I'm still a student and not equipped or trained to do this.
I don't have my firearms license.
I don't have the necessary skills, but I am ambitious and want to help you. I am not like the other ambitious people that invoke the wrath of God. They were ambitious. I would do things differently. I am better than them. Maybe even better than the gods.
Oh yeah, that's always a good sign. That's always what you want to hear from your
So you might imagine that too. All that she said was, "Take me with you. I can help." All the other stuff that I mentioned was just the thing that she said in between the lines.
Mm-hmm.
So next week, I'll tell you if the Knights Morales show up and take her and erase all her memories because she used magic wrong and or whatever.
Yeah, the magic ATF is gonna come and take your wand away. It's gonna be sad. Oh no.
Yeah, take the pen away because the magic is cast by
the pin wand thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, you won't. No, not my gun. I mean,
but
I just love that analogy because it's so funny.
I know you said that you weren't interested in watching the show because of Twitter notions. Yeah. But it is a very good show. I like the characters a lot. I like the things that happen a lot. The action is very cool. They show how you draw a circle consistently, nice and round. Ritsu, as Artman, how do you draw a circle?
You draw a shitload of circles.
Yes, but what is a technique that you can use to draw a circle more round than you otherwise maybe would?
I don't know. Use a fucking there are protractors.
No, with a hand, with just a pen and a paper. How do you draw a circle round more consistently?
I don't know. How do they do it in the show?
They first circle above the paper and then commit. Instead of putting your pencil, your pen to the paper.
That is one way. That is one way to do it, but most of the time it's just you muscle memory that shit. You just draw a whole shitload of circles until you get to the point where you don't have to worry about it. It takes time, but yeah.
But anyway, I did discover that is a good way to start with drawing bigger circles faster, because if I've drawn circles in my time, and you kind of have the tendency to go really small because you want to be precise and nice and neat. So you tend to go very small if you want to be nice and neat. But if you do the circle method, then you more easily do bigger circles quicker that are even a bit more round than they otherwise would be. But so just to say, Naretsu, they have actual art thing that you can use in art.
Yeah,
because
makes
magic,
sense.
because magic is art, and it's and magic is also like art. You have to have ideas and inspiration and novel concepts and all that stuff. But anyway, that's enough about a good show. Peak, unfortunately.
Yeah. Right.
All right.
Next slide.
Next slide.
What do we got?
Should we?
I don't know. I guess I could knock Dr. Stone out. They're in Australia. They're getting aluminium. They're building the rocket. They've gone back to Japan. Chrome wants to. He's building his own idea for a rocket, so that because our boy Dr. Stone Man is like, yeah, this is gonna be a suicide mission, one-way trip to the moon. Let's go. We're not coming back.
Mhm.
Chrome is like, nah, fuck that. We're gonna make return rocket on our own.
Oh.
Math man, help, please. Big math. Do math. Teach us the big math. And the guy's like, yeah, okay. The only other thing is they now have computer calculators now. They have made a Stone Age massive computer calculator that can do big calculations.
With vacuum tubes or something, or
no, kind of. They have vacuum tubes for they have Nixon tubes for the numbers, but they're using like magnets, little tiny magnets.
Oh, that would
to
work.
transmit the
Plus,
binary,
on-off,
binary magnet stuff, to like transfer and save the electricity, like memory. Like they have created RAM essentially. Obviously not semiconductor RAM, but they've made RAM. And so now it's basically just they have rice now. They've gone back to Japan with the rice. They're getting nostalgic over rice cakes, right? And all niguris and stuff. And essentially, we're building up very quickly to. We go to moon. It's big moon time.
Mm-hmm.
It is indeed happening, and it's fine. It's all right. Like again, I don't really have to play by play it because it's essentially just the building blocks are happening. Typical Dr. Stone stuff is happening. I'll also quickly do Digimon as well because I'm not fully caught up, but I have been catching up, and it's doing all right. We had a couple of filler episodes, but it was fine. Just normal Digimon, friendship, a fear type stuff. It's doing good. So how about you do your Roshinkin or however you say it, show, big stage play, big things.
Oh, Akane Banashi.
Yes.
Akane Banashi. So I only watched one more episode, so I'm 2 behind or 1 behind. Anyway, after last time when she got discovered that the tournament arc was in front of her with all these wacky characters that stand in her way with their own specialized Rakugo, and she has to fight these rounds and defeat the others in tournaments to advance to the evil guy that killed her father spiritually, motivationally, etc. She is almost finishing high school. After she's finishing high school, she's going to be an official apprentice of the guy that also trained her father. She got kind of permission from the mother. It was kind of a semi-reunion, and the old master apologized to the mother, the wife of the guy, from, sorry, I trained him badly, it was my fault, I am doing this kind of for myself to atone for what happened to your husband. And she goes from, Yeah, if it were up to me, she would not be doing this at all. But I cannot stop her. She's a Rakugo obsessed girl. So whatever, girl, do what you want. And blah 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 blah. And now she's kind of learning how it is to be on the bottom rung of a Rakugo, which also but kind of feels like it's might be true everywhere, but being on the bottom rung of a apprenticeship just means making the tea. And they are sweet talking it into, oh no, you are learning to be considerate. So you can be considerate of the audience and all that stuff. But you know, I mean this is true for any apprenticeship thing in any profession. I feel it's not like that you as an apprentice lawyer that you can do your own cases. No, you're going to bring the papers for the lawyer and make the tea for the lawyers. That is your job as an apprentice lawyer, same as here basically. But this last episode kind of introduced the concept of tailoring the punchlines and the delivery of your Rakugo story to your audience. Because our main girl knows all the stories, but doesn't know how to tailor them more to the audience. She doesn't have the flexibility, right, that you might expect of an experienced Rakugo performer to really, quickly adapt. As a beginner, I kind of would expect you to just, be able to follow the stories to the letter, but not to, change the line here and there. That was the last episode, and I feel like this is almost like a not as drastic, of course, but like a Haikyuu, where suddenly people learn about Rakugo and are interested in doing Rakugo, so there might be like an uptick in Rakugo performers trying it out or stuff like, right? Or or K-On! With the guitars. Or Bocchi. But that was my stuff on Akane Banashi.
So, what were you gonna say?
No, which one was my question?
I guess I'll do Barbarian because that's the most recent one I watched. So yeah, it's continuing. Lovey dubby. They fight a dragon. That's kind of cool. And and then we have they're on the beach, and we get introduced to kind of the other races. So you have the dwarves who do their dwarvy, weapon forging stuff. There's like elves that are like in tune with nature, little pixie things, and druid, little druid plant creature things, and they're all getting drunk on the beach because they're happy that the guy's getting married or whatever. Even though she still hasn't agreed to that yet. But she's coming around, right? And we get kind of established that there's like this themed thing that they're all kind of fighting against that keeps is apparently like equivalent to a natural disaster. It is really, really bad. And that gets elaborated on in the most recent episode where we get introduced to hot redhead nun girl, as I'm gonna call her. Because I don't know, man. I like the hot redhead glasses nerd looking nun girl who's kind of a psychopath. Kind of dig it. kind of cool. I'm down for our girl. But essentially, she and a group of the like knights are out looking for our night girl. Right, they're trying to rescue. But she's using magic from like the holy book, the Bible or whatever.
Yeah.
But the problem is that she's not using magic properly, and because she's not using magic properly, it's like sucking mana from like the earth, right?
That's a
And
bad.
that creates the Fiend thing, which is a giant tentacle monster, which I assume is going to do tentacle monster things next episode.
Of course.
And that's essentially I'm skipping over a lot, but like a lot of the stuff I'm skipping is just like, oh, she spars with like the other guys, and they're all impressed because she's so powerful. We get like an explanation of like willpower as like a system, which feels very Naro-esque, where they're like, oh yeah, there's like this, it's not mana, but it's like willpower, and the stronger your willpower, it like amplifies your strength and your abilities, and you know, our guy literally tanks multiple magic missiles from our redhead nun girl, right? Just tanks that shit like a boss because he's so Giga Chad on willpower, right? He can just absorb that shit without fucking having anything happen to him. So, that's kind of something. But again, yeah, it comes off as very Naro-esque, right? Like it's like a game system, right? like, like you have high strength stat, and that means that you can do shit. And the magic system being produced right now is basically it's like there is magic, but if you don't use like a catalyst to do the magic, it draws from like the natural mana or whatever of like the earth, and that if you drain that too much, it like I'm wondering if there's gonna be like an environmentalist message in here somewhere where it's like, oh, you're using like the natural resources and it turns into like a horrible monster if you do that. It's bad news, right?
Well, the whole thing with the kingdom, right? It was desolate and barren and all that stuff. So it might just be, we inherent passive overuse of magic in the kingdom that's made it all barren and all that stuff.
Well, the kingdom doesn't really view it as magic because it's like it's tied to the religious element. Like, I mean, it's a nun girl, right? Like, there's like a religion component being introduced here where they have like the nuns usually aren't like shooting fireballs. They're usually doing like healing magic / tending to the dead, right? Like soul pass on type stuff with the magic book. But this nun girl is like, oh wait, I can just shoot fucking magic missiles. I'm gonna just use that, and by the grace and power of God, I will
kill you.
Yeah, well, she's also I have a feeling that she's a bit of she's a bit of a feeling because she's like smitten with our girl a little bit, I think, or looks up to our girl because she reacts very negatively to Barbarian Man. Maybe not sexually assaulting, but didn't actually see like the implications of what's going on, right? And not really stopping to like hear out what's going on, right? like, hey, maybe you should calm down a little bit, and not shoot magic missiles everywhere. But it's yeah, like so far, like it is okay, and I'm glad that they are introducing new elements because I think I was mentioning like last time we did a stream that. Yeah, the gag of her like having assumptions and then those assumptions being incorrect and then that being like the punchline to like a joke or whatever was getting very fucking old very quick. I'm glad we're now sort of transitioning into some world building shit now, right?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a breath of fresh air than just like constantly the same thing over and over again. So yeah, it's all right. That's kind of where I'll leave it at.
Yeah, right. Then it leaves Demons of the Shadow Realm. And
another very interesting show.
We're getting a lot of mystery and half stories, and of course we eventually end up with the twins meeting up in the enemy stronghold quotation marks.
Yeah, I do like this sort of like, okay, who do we trust kind of
Yeah.
angle that's going on. Because it's clear that the sister obviously trusts, what is it, something family, right? Whatever the clan,
Kagomori.
this
I've
particular,
thought.
this particular clan, right? But our guy is still a bit like, well, because this is, and it makes sense because like we see Gabu, right, in the first episode,
Yeah.
literally fucking
Killing.
biting, just murdering these villagers, right? Like it's nothing, right? And I hope that we do get kind of like some conflict there in the future, because it's kind of like our guy grew up with these villagers, and then you have this group that just shows up and starts indiscriminately murdering people, right? And we haven't actually really gotten like a reason for that yet, like why they
Mhm.
are just so like why did this have to escalate, right? What is the reason? Like, I can understand, okay, they wanted to get the brother out of the village, right? I guess was like the objective.
Yeah.
But I don't really know why the like level of escalation of violence had to take place where you have just blatant murdering of the adults in the village, right? That's kind of a mystery, I guess, to possibly be solved. But yeah, other than that, animation's pretty good. The fight scene in the episode was really interesting because you have like the different abilities being kind of displayed and how the demons kind of, or demons,
Mm,
the
Daemons.
daimons. I'm just gonna say demons. I'm sorry. It's the demons, right? The demons. We see the demons kind of how they fight, right? The different
Mhm.
abilities on display. It was quite interesting, and kind of like the navigation of like this very interesting situation. Because again, our main character, our protagonist, doesn't know fucking anything about what's going on or even the world around him, because he's being thrust into this brave new world of technology, and holy shit, look at all these castles, right? How many?
Yeah.
Yeah. What you need? You have one of those smoke signals, right? Smoke signals, the cell phones, right? Like, that kind of thing. And he's kind of trying to navigate this, and I think it does kind of act as a very good like way to sort of introduce the reader slash viewer to a lot of these things, right? Because he doesn't know, so that means there's a way, an excuse for like a little bit of exposition. We do find out that the parents are missing, just gone from the
Mhm.
plane for some reason. Who knows
Mid-flight,
where they?
apparently.
Yeah, dead, not dead. Who knows? Aisha may be trying to figure out what's going on. We'll see how it go. But yeah, I'm in. I can feel the Full Metal Alchemist author like style at play as well a little bit. Like I'm feeling it.
Yeah. I just also I wanted to mention that I see basically in both camps divergent interests, almost like animosity. Well, when our boy arrives in the enemy stronghold, a guy shows up and goes, "Hey, so you're over here. Why don't I show you around? Hey, what you're doing here? I didn't say that he was coming here."
Yeah. So there's clearly some. Yeah, there's clearly some fuckery going on. Like there's
Yeah.
different factions and different like internal politics going on.
And
Which
Grandma,
again leads
I
leads to
I
being
would
interesting.
believe that Grandma would be sending assassins to the Kagomori because she knew about the outside world and maintains the barrier and all that stuff, right? But Terra, the quote unquote father now, is kind of is a sub clan, associated clan, a cadet clan, as CK Free Crusader Kings would put it. like, is not the same, but does semi follow the orders of the main clan main branch.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
so they also are not one and the same. One other note, is that in the very first episode, Yoru, our main character, mentioned that people go down the mountain to find work, and that they do that semi regularly. It is not uncommon for people to go down the mountain to find work and not come back.
mm.
That makes me believe that they are assassins and agents of the Mountain Clan, basically. The grandma sends out these people with the excuse, with the story that they are going down the mountain to find work because there's not enough food or work here, so they're going down. But in actuality, they are trained and, professionals, assassins, agents, or whatever, to do
Yeah.
whatever the big family with grandma wants.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I just was something to note. One of is that the camps are not monoliths, and second that there is already precedence for mountain folk being down the mountain doing work, so that assassins from the mountain came to attack her. What's her name again? Asa. To attack Asa. I would believe it because it's already stated that mountain people are down the mountain
Yeah.
for work.
It's like I said, there's a lot of really interesting components at play here, right? There's a lot of intrigue and mystery and hooks, right, to get you kind of invested in what's going on. So yeah, I'm down. I'm gonna keep watching it. It's really good. Enjoying it. Having a fun time. Alrighty. I don't know what else have we got. Oh yes, I've got to talk about my Girls Otaku show thing still. So do we have another slide? I think we have another slide, do we?
Yeah, it's on.
I was gonna say. I have to check because sometimes the stream stops going because I have it muted. Okay, there we go. All right. Well, I guess we can kill Petals of Reincarnation.
Ooh, let me go.
I did not start that in the interim, and that means I'm definitely not going to start it. So it gets
there. It is.
Like I'm already watching enough, and it didn't interest me enough to start it. So, but yeah, it's usually a bad sign. All right. Well, do you want to pick one of your ones because you've got 3 and I've only got 1? So.
So I haven't caught up to Ganbare Nakamura-kun. I do plan on watching it. Catching up. I cannot say much about Klutzy, Classmonter, and the Girl with the Short Skirt, other than just saying again, big Reiwa era romantic comedy vibes, and well, Nakamura also kind of. And that the relationship is already kind of close. They don't start out of strangers. They don't do, tsundere or kind of deny feelings. I mean, to remind everybody, the guy said in the first episode, "You are too hot. I'm having sexual thoughts about you." So that's a thing. I'm not sure if I am not caught up on the show completely. I might have watched like one more episode after we last talked about it, but it's such a comedic episodic show that I'm not going to bother reminding, trying to guess if I talked about a specific
Hey,
scene or
this
not.
week the episode was funny.
Hey.
This week the other episode was funny.
Hey.
All the episodes are funny.
Hey, good stuff.
Uh,
But I can't talk about Ramparts of Ice. Big feelings, Naretsu.
Big feel.
Characters,
big feel.
Characters are having big feelings. The boy in the middle, the top boy in the middle, is emotionally disconnected to a lot of things that he's doing. But now he is come face to face to a girl that is not interested at all in him. And Naretsu, he's now suddenly very interested in her. But like last time, I'm skipping over one's arc. I'm just going to focus what happened last. When girl is hanging out with the boy on the right because she's comfortable with him, but is not interested in any romantic relationship, the boy on the top is getting worried anyway. So Naretsu, he notices that boy on the right has changed his profile picture to a burger.
Oh.
And then Naretsu, he sees that she, the girl, our main character, has also changed the profile picture to a burger.
Burger Bros. They're becoming Burger Bros.
They have matching profile picture. Ooh. And he is suddenly in the big conflicting feelings from, I don't have feelings for her, I swear. Oh no, they have matching profile pictures. What does it mean? So, I can sympathize with the feeling from, oh, the girl that I like is now matching profile pictures with a guy. Oh no, they are dating. And also they are comfortable on laughing with each other, and she won't laugh with me because she doesn't like me as much. Because she puts clear boundaries between people. You are okay. I think you are okay. I think you're not okay. So I am in a camp that is barely okay, but he is in a camp that is totally okay. And she likes hanging out with him, and now they have matching profile pictures. So he's going through it. So that's very funny. Girl on the left is not important right now. Just for next week, it's revealed in Retsu that boy, they all have massive problems in their own way. But we have learned that the boy on the right, the mother is dead. Gone.
Oh! Rip.
He has memories of her, but she is dead.
Oh no!
And he has a new mother, but it is kind of semi-awkward in that it is kind of clear that he doesn't really see her as a mother. Oof.
Oof.
Also, he likes to just space out and not think about things. Could this be related to could this be a defense mechanism to not think about his dead mother? Right? Because if he starts thinking, he might be thinking about his dead mother. Big defense mechanisms all around. So, things are happening. Drama continues. Funny things happening.
Funny, haha.
Funny, haha, and ooey. That's a big personal trauma that you have there.
Yeah. So, Gals, I guess. It's fun. it's charming. It's fun. The girls are slowly falling for our boy. The love triangles do begin established. They go to the beach, and we get introduced to the brother of our blonde girl, and he's like you if you he's very good at the teasing, right? Because he's basically like, oh, you haven't made a move on my sister, have you? He's like, no. He's like, why haven't you? Are you gay? So yeah, he's just fucking around. But like most of it is just like very wholesome, standard kind of rom-com type stuff, and like just normal interactions between these characters, and it's all kind of leading into he's probably gonna be in trouble because both of these girls are starting to kind of fall for him, and he is like kind of falling for the girls in a sense, but at the same time, it's like how is the love? It's very typical love triangle stuff, right? Like, where's the conflict gonna arise? Is kind of where I'm wondering if the shoe's gonna drop here on this. But other than that, like, yeah, no, there's not too much else I can really say about it without like doing like, oh, there's like the subplot of the little sister girl and the two other guys, and they have a fight, and then our otaku guy manages to, oh, some things are more important. They have friends, happy, fun, yay, that kind of thing, right? There's not too much I can really like, because I'm too tired to do I'm too tired to do a play-by-play of it. Like, just know that it is fun. It is fun. It's pretty cute. People that like we're losing their minds about it are fucking stupid. That's pretty much what I got to say about it at this point.
Yeah,
So
that's all the shows.
Yeah, we're done.
Caught up.
Fun stream this week. I guess we'll be back next time. Maybe we'll do Others Basement. Maybe we won't. Also, we didn't mention it, but we're at 100. We've done it 100 times. 100 shows.
In this format, we have probably more. We have definitely
well, yeah.
more
if you count the old stuff, this is the first. This is the 100th of this format. Yeah, but yeah, 100 shows. Wow.
How time flies.
What a ride. Yeah. But anyway, other than that, it's been fun. We'll catch you guys next time.
Later.
Yeah.